Everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Apex, the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, LCQ is in the books. We've got all the teams. We're going to go through all of it, talk about some of the storylines and all the things that went down. We also have a really fun interview, quick interview, but a fun one with Monsoon, where I say quick, it was still 45 minutes. It's anytime you get Monsoon on a screen, it always delivers, and this one is especially one of those. So you're going to want to check that out. And then after that, we've got the heart-to-heart and the regional recap. But boys, we've got Jay back on the show for the first time in a long time. The Hawk is here. He is ready to talk it through. And it's been a while since you've been on the pod, Jay. We had you on like many episodes, and now this is the first one in a while. How are you doing?
I think the last time I was on was the champs previews for last year, no? Like going into Japan?
It's been a while.
And to think that you could have been our third host in a different world.
I know.
The comments are saying.
The comments were.
Do you guys just want me to leave now, or should I I feel like I'm fourth wheeling at this point.
Jumba is still a host on the show. I've not replaced him.
Yeah,
this is a one-time thing.
Jumba,
I did watch party all of LCQ.
Yeah, Jumba is in the interview with Monsoon. He was just feeling under the weather, so we had Jay hop in here. But yeah, so the comments, the streets are saying. The streets are saying that Jayhawk is the third host. Jay, how is it? How's everything been outside of just what we're about to get into?
Life's been great. I got to work the midseason playoffs. That event was pretty crazy. We got to see VK Gaming win. Shout out to Don for the prediction. He was going crazy on that. It was sick to see like a Chinese Apex team finally win too, because they've been like the scene that feels like they have the least amount of support outside of like maybe South America, and they like finally came through and did it. So that was awesome. And then I got nominated for an award. I woke up, had no clue about it till like hours later when Don put it in our Discord. And the crazy part is they tagged me on Twitter, but I guess I just didn't open Twitter that morning. And so Don puts it in our Discord, and I was like, wait, like, have you guys seen the Drewski meme where he's like,
yeah, at the Kanye
that was
concert?
me at first. Yeah, because I was like, me? Like, not because I think I'm bad or anything, but it was just like I literally have barely done any of this like desk stuff. You know?
Would think they would let you know.
Doing it like 2 years ago. Yeah, you'd think there'd be some sort of heads up in the process, I guess, but they just there you go. So I have no idea how they became aware of my stuff at all, but maybe it's because there's so many other Apex people that are on the awards. That they spotted me in the midst of watching all the greatness of everybody else. So that was pretty crazy. So yeah, life's pretty good right now. I have no expectations of winning it, but imagine I did. That'd be the most crazy award win of all time. I'd go up there and be like, yeah, I've done like 4 events total. Shout out, like, glad to get here, glad to win. To all the people that have been working in this industry for 10 years. My fault for, coming in and taking this.
Skill issue, GG's.
Yeah, that's what you'd have to drop on it. That's what that.
Go vote.
Literally that. Yeah, so go ahead and vote.
Yeah, is there a way for us to like attach links to this?
Yeah, I'll put it in the bio.
We'll make sure that
we can have it there. You can vote every single day, once a day, up until I think September 12th or something.
September.
I get 12th? September and November mixed up. I'm not good at those
he always
2 months.
does, and it confuses me.
Yeah, I November 12th. So I think you have a good amount of time to vote every single day. It would be the steal of the century. We would love to see it. It would be fantastic. It would be great. Okay, boys, let's get into it. Jay, you were watch partying the last chance qualifiers, and although this season has had a lot of ups and downs, I would say, just from a structural perspective, I think what ended up happening in this LCQ was the best case scenario. You wanted somebody of like that people know and that people really love to come out and win it, and that's exactly what happened with Oblivion.
Yeah. It was really cool because obviously that's like a team you can very easily rally behind. Like everybody likes those guys. Like Fun's always been great, super positive. Obviously Monsoon, who you guys have him for the interview, everybody loves Monsoon. Blinks are kind of like a up and coming IGL. It's interesting because so many pros that I've talked to like give him a lot of props, but it's felt like in terms of the teams that he's been on, and this is no disrespect to any of his teammates, he hasn't quite gotten like, I would say, the caliber of teams that it feels like he deserves in terms of the way that people have been talking about him as an IGL. So it was really cool to see them actually like make it in qual. So yeah, it was a sick tournament. And honestly, LCQ is always a banger. Like they can never mess it up with the match point format where it's like you got 2 slots for your entire region. Everybody's just going to go duel it out to the death, and whoever gets there gets there.
Yeah. So let's just talk about, I do want to get your perspective on the structure and things of that nature, like just kind of how everything has gone to get us to this point. With all of the champs points and different things like that, where do you kind of stand with all that? Because we haven't really heard your opinion on it, I don't think. At least not on this show. You might have said it before. Where do you stand with all of it?
I don't actually think the points, like the champs points going to players, is a problem, because like if people like, I feel like people almost are forgetting the old system where there was a lot of stupid stuff that could happen in that one too. With I always bring up this example, and it's not because I dislike them, it's just the one that's so easily top of mind, where RKN's Sentinels roster, they were the guard for Split 1 playoffs with Keon and Rambo. That's where they made a finals. They got like 16th, 18th. They did not do that good. They did good the whole tournament, but in the finals they like completely, fell out. And so they do terrible in that finals. Split 2, they have a utter collapse with Rambo going to retire, and then he goes and joins DZ, and like a week later, and they picked up Zenile, and they did not do good. So they missed that LAN altogether. Then they find out that they're qualified for champs based on that 18th place because of the way the system was designed. But they had qualified with Rambo and Keon. But because Zenile had joined the roster, the system actually allowed for them to drop Keon for Koifel. So all of a sudden now we have RKN who earned the spot with 2 new teammates who did not. So it's like the old system was bad too, basically is what I'm saying. So I think the players carrying their champs points is a good thing. The thing I don't like is some of the rules around like subs, where subs can hold like a lot of points despite the fact that they don't actually like play on the team that much. Like there is some rules in terms of they have to play, I think, minimum 6 games for them to earn points. But like for Timmy on ZZ, he was able to give them points until Funk earned enough to pass him. But he was giving them points to hold a champ spot. And then the biggest thing that I don't like is just the calendar, the way the calendar was designed. I think it made the champs points going to individual players feel way worse than it actually was, because we had the Open in the middle of Pro League, followed by the midseason playoffs after Pro League. So now the Pro League that we just finished did not feel impactful almost whatsoever.
So
in order to make it feel impactful, I feel like they had to add those like gimmick spots of like, if you can win your Pro League, you get to go. And that didn't feel good, because think about like Exterminators. They got 4th in Pro League. Every other year, you're going to a LAN because of that. But because of this system where you're going straight to champs, it can't work like that. And so it's dumb.
So it's less the structure, more the like timing of everything and where some of these things were placed.
Yeah, I feel like if you took this champs point system with players, which also I still think there's room for improvement there, because I feel like they need to make Roster Mania less flexible. Like I don't like how open it is in terms of how long people have to make changes, which they have done some of those things. Like there's only a limited amount of changes you can actually make in a single split, which is good. And then they made it so like the team that you played in Pro League with, you have to play with at champs. So they have started to go towards that direction, but I don't feel like the points is actually the problem. I feel like if you took this points system and you put it in the previous years where we had a Split 1 and Split 2 playoffs, and then those qualified you for champs, then it would have felt, and honestly, I think it would have been better than the previous system.
Interesting. Okay. I just wanted to get your perspective on it and just kind of see where
that's
where
the
you
kindest were at. That's the kindest perspective we've had yet on the show.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't
it's
as
very
nice.
much valued.
Yeah.
I will say the calendar was a disaster. Like genuinely, the fact that we had the Open in the middle of Pro League was horrendous.
Yeah. Understandable.
But also, they can't. The weird part is like they can't do the Open. Like let's say we want to do the Split 1, Split 2 playoffs format where it's like the LAN is after a Pro League. With the Open having 160 teams, there's no like you have to play Pro League to qualify for it. You know what I mean? So they couldn't do that like after one of the Pro Leagues and make the Pro League matter, because it wouldn't have. So it's just the nature of the Open being a champs qualifying event. Like I thought the Open was like a cool idea. I don't think we should ever do it again.
If they were to do the Open, would it more just be just an open tournament that has no bear? Like let's just say it was like a preseason type LAN where you just go in there with all these teams, maybe some players who are unknown. We do have another player that we're about to talk about here in Men of Culture that got his name kind of at the Open. Maybe you do it that way, has no bearing on champs, but it's just another LAN that we can add. You know?
If it's in the preseason, I'm okay with it having a bearing on champs because, to be honest, even like back in the old days, I've always been an advocate that there should be more LANs that give you points. Because even to use that Sentinels example once again, they didn't even make it to the second LAN of that year. They only made it to one LAN where they placed like 18th. And that's what earned them a champ spot. So, like, I think you should have to be consistent throughout the year. So if all of a sudden, instead of in the old days where it was just 2 LANs qualified you for an event for champs, imagine it was 3 LANs and multiple Pro League splits. And so then it's like the Open is the preseason thing. And then you could even have some of like the Open feed directly into Pro League. So like, let's say what was their name? Twerkaholics. Let's say a Twerkaholics pop off. That can earn them a Pro League spot based on how they finish at the Open. Assuming that's in the preseason. And then if that gives them champs points, I'm okay with it. It's just where they put it that was the problem. Because putting it in the middle of the year, it just didn't work. It doesn't work with the Pro League system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about the other team that will be going from the Americas region. That is Men of Culture. And like we mentioned just a few seconds ago, Twerkaholics Floating, I believe, is on the team of Men of Culture, correct?
Indeed.
Yeah.
So there it is. That's the other team that will be going. What did you see, Jay, from Men of Culture?
They popped off early and often. Like they won the first game. And so they looked really good. I was not expecting them to look as good as they did because I'm not very familiar with Floating's 2 teammates, Aveki and Too Many Cheaters, which surely they make him change his
Do you
name.
think no way we're going to go into a LAN? What if they just left it?
There's no way we're going into a LAN where Onset and Gaskin are be like, and Too Many Cheaters takes down Imperial How? Like, there's no shot that that's going to be his name. That would be crazy.
Dude, I played with a Vecchi, and I literally was like, who's your guys' third? And he was like, oh, it's Too Many Cheaters. I was like, that's his actual, like...
Bro,
like, that's his actual name? I was so shocked. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, he made it like that back in one of the seasons when it was really bad, and he's kind of just stuck.
When I was streaming, I was like, what's his real name, chat? Like, does anybody know what his real name is? And they're like, it's Too Many Cheaters. I was like, really? Oh, okay. All right. Surely they make him change it. But Too Many Cheaters and Aveki were frying. Like, I don't know too much about Too Many Cheaters, but Aveki's apparently like a 16-year-old kid. Just recently came onto the scene. Floating is, teaming with him now. And all of a sudden here they're going to champs. So they were frying. And they were frying because everybody knows about like Floating's R9, right? Like that's what took over the Open was him running that R9 while everybody else, what was the gun back then? Was everybody still running P20s? Yeah, everybody's still running P20s. He was running R9. He was playing crypto in this match point finals. And you'd think that Floating, the guy who was shredding everybody at the Open, no way he's playing crypto, but he was IGLing on crypto. So shout out to him. And that just shows how good his 2 teammates were because they were able to go crazy with him on the crypto. So they were flexible. It seemed like with no matter what the bans were, they were able to fry everybody. When they were like getting their wins, they were like massive kills games. So they looked really strong. And to be honest, like although Oblivion won, Men of Culture looked like the best team in that lobby. I mean, they had the most points.
Yeah, they had the most points. They did look really, really good. And I think at the end, they really just kind of got screwed because they only had 2. They were trying to bring back the third. They weren't able to do so. Yeah, so that was tough. Now, I mean, there's a direct antithesis to what I'm about to say because Oblivion obviously won. But I did want to talk about Exterminators a little bit because I think that they were a major storyline going into this. And what I had said on the pod previous is that I felt like sometimes, although esports isn't a direct, same exact situation as regular sports, I do believe that this might have been a letdown spot for Exterminators because when you get that close so many times to punching your ticket and you just don't get there, to get back into that energy, to get back into that mindset is extremely difficult. And they don't make it. They get 13th there in that finals lobby. Is there any credence to what I'm saying, or do you think there's maybe, just Apex-like factors that kind of led to this one?
I mean, I think for them, at least some of the stuff that I was hearing, because I know Naughty talked about it on stream, he had just said that he definitely was not IGLing as confidently as he was the previous week. and definitely just wasn't like as assertive at times as he normally was. And especially with them, like it definitely, they seem like a very vibes team. And when they got off kind of to that slow start, I think is kind of when they're like, man, like this just really isn't going to be the same, team that we saw. He even mentioned as well, I think he had started on crypto and then switched off it because he said that Jelly and Shuby weren't working together as well as they had previously. So he wasn't really able to run that crypto where he kind of just trusts the other two to, fight together. So yeah, I just think those two main factors are what we saw. But yeah, I think to your point too, when he come off of that big letdown, from being a moment away from making champs the week before, and then you have 5 days basically to figure it out and move past that. That's tough in any sport, any situation to bounce back from that kind of letdown. So I definitely think all three of those kind of just boiled into a unfortunate worst time possible performance that they put together.
Yeah. You have anything to add on to that, Jay?
I agree with what Don said about like the vibes. Like they're the kind of team that it was funny because while I was watch partying, J-Mo came in and he was like, it was like 5 games in, and he was like, listen, as long as you keep winning, the lobby can't end. Exterminators are going to go pull like a TSM. They're going to go win like 3 in a row or something, right? He was trying to get the vibes up. But that's the kind of team that I feel like, especially with, I feel like that set in the regional finals where Naughty IGL'd his ass off, I feel like that like hurt him in like like obviously he's a grown man, he's gonna get over it, whatever, you know what I mean? But like you said, to be that close and not have it, like it's literally in your grasp in like 2 of the games where they just could have won it. They got into the end game on match point, they could have done it and they didn't. I feel like that hurt him in a way that like going into this one with the way they started, where like 3 games in and they have died like the first 3 of each game over and over and over, it's like I don't feel like the vibes were going to recover from that just because of the way that team operates. I feel like they needed to start strong, and if they started strong, then I think that would have built up the belief in themselves. Like, listen, we've been here before, we can do this, we can close it out. But the fact that they started as poorly as they did, I think it was an impossible mountain for them to climb. And it really sucked. I think the vibes might have even been shocked, honestly, before it started, because none of them streamed. And I don't know if it was because of like an internet issue, but that was a red flag to me immediately because they stream everything. Like, when has Naughty ever not streamed a Pro League day or any of that stuff? They were streaming the previous day. And I think somebody said that Naughty was having internet problems. So maybe that's why he didn't, but then his teammates also didn't. So I wanted to watch them, and it was kind of sucked that we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, no, that was tough to watch because just how close they got. You just wanted them to have an opportunity, and in this one they just didn't really have that chance. Now, I do want to talk about the 2 teams that everybody was really wanting to talk about, and that was Fully Torqued and the Rock Hard Rhinos. Anything on those 2 teams, boys?
Fully Torqued is the former Torkaholics. Shout out Kates and Lunix. So obviously floating left Workaholics, but those 2, they're still together, and they got signed, I guess, by this org called Fully Torqued. And people in my chat were calling them Torkaholics. Combine the name,
There we go.
Torkaholics, there you go. And then the Rock Hard Rhinos, I'm genuinely shocked that they allowed that name through.
Yeah,
because
tough.
they've been kind of, no pun intended, well, I guess pun intended, anal about some of the names that they let through. Like, I remember Meat Lovers, the only reason it was allowed was because they were like, it's a pizza.
Yeah.
It was not because of the pizza, bro. Like, Tech, literally, his former team name was Sausage Sorcerers. Like, it was not because of the pizza. But I was shocked that they allowed that name through. But they didn't have a great day, unfortunately. So
Yeah, it's tough for the Rock Hard Rhinos.
I will just give a quick shout out, though, to KJ, who was the replacement for Floating. He had 24 kills and an 11K on the day. Like, I haven't really seen him play, but like that is crazy numbers to put up, especially being the one that is replacing somebody that got so much gas like Floating did. Like that is a crazy day to have. And like, it's obviously unfortunate that they didn't, qualify when they put up 70 points on the day. But you have 4 other teams that still put up more than that. But I mean, that's an insane performance for those boys. And again, like, it really seems like they could be one of those teams that maybe gets a shout as like a back-end Pro League invite. just based on like how they performed at the Open and how they performed through this. Because for those who haven't seen it, they're talking about your whole kind of resume, like they do in like college basketball. Like that's is going to be like the deciding factor to get you into pro league for teams that don't like automatically qualify again. So who knows? Maybe we see fully torqued out in pro league next season.
Bro,
So
I wanted, like, while it was happening, because I felt going back to like the whole calendar thing with the way that the Open happened, the thing I disliked the most about the Open was that we had this Cinderella story of twerkaholics, and it did not matter how well they did, because how many points did you get, Don, if you won like a LAN in terms of champs points? Was it like 2,000 or something like that, or 3,000 total? So they would have literally basically they would have basically had to win LAN if they wanted to make champs, because they weren't going to be able to compete in Pro League for Split 1, which means they cannot at all have a chance to qualify for midseason playoffs. So they would have either had to then like do good enough and then make Split 2 Pro League and then try to like do good enough there to make it off of champs points alone. But they really didn't have like a full chance, in my opinion, off of their Open performance. And I feel like if you get a finals lobby on LAN, that should have gotten you something. So while the LCQ is happening, I so like, and this is not to say that I wasn't happy Oblivion won, because I love those guys, but I so desperately wanted Men of Culture and Fully Torqued to both finish top 2, because it would have been so vindicating that this team, who literally proved they could get top 20 on LAN, for all 3 of those players, despite splitting up, to then go do it. Because I remember after it happened too, like I was on Don's stream at one point, RKN hops in chat, and he's like, well, if they deserved it, then they're going to go qual for Pro League and they would just make champs anyway. And it's like, yeah, but like after their 18th or their 20th, which if he was, it's funny because RKN made champs in basically doing that, getting almost dead last in a finals lobby. These guys, with the system changes and all that stuff, it's basically impossible for them. They have to do way more, which is a good thing. But also it kind of sucks, because I felt like, I'm not saying that the Open should have qualified for them for champs, but it should have given them more of an opportunity moving forward. And the fact that everything was so front loaded in Split 1, if you didn't make Split 1 Pro League, you were just kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Like you were largely screwed, because then if you can't make Split 1 Pro League, you don't get those points, and you're not going to get any midseason playoffs points. So who knows? Maybe if the Open was a preseason thing, it gives them a spot in Pro League. Who knows where they finish? There were 16 NA teams that made it to midseason playoffs, and you're telling me there's not a chance that those boys could have been top 16?
I mean,
I'm not saying they're guaranteed, but I think the way that they have played, and everything I've watched, there's a chance.
Well, if you look at both the rosters here, they were both, I mean, obviously one floating does make it, and then they were just on the outside looking in. It wasn't too far. I mean, I guess technically with the points, 92, 97, they were sitting at 70. Overall points, though, they were in 5th, and, anything could have happened right there. If it goes to another game, who knows?
They were on match point, and in that final game, they made it into the final 5. So, like, they had a shot to win that game. It was just, obviously they didn't. But I wanted them to so bad, just as, like, vindication of... I felt like these guys deserved more of an opportunity based on what they did at the Open, and the structure of the year, the way it was all lined up, just didn't fully give them one. Which, obviously, they should have made it to Pro League in Split 2. Like, if you were really that good, then they had their chance to qualify.
That was tough to see.
Yeah, like I think that was shit the bed, to be honest.
Yeah, that was. I don't think they break. Like I don't think they break apart as like. It's a whole different world. If we had seen them in Pro League, they would have had more time to like adapt and get back. Like a whole different ball game.
Yeah. Especially with the way that Pro League.
The counter to my argument is they just didn't make it to Pro League. Like that, they should have done it.
But, I mean, to be fair on there, and that's just they had one bad day.
Exactly.
Like they literally owned CC. I'm pretty sure they won like 3 out of the 4. And the fact that they go from owning CC to then not what is it, top 8 to make it.
That's why it upsets me, because they destroyed the Open outside of the finals. But the fact that they made the finals at 160 team LAN, while we have like juggernauts not making it, you know what I mean? Like that LG roster with Shubi, who was their third? It was Sorcerer at the time. Shubi, Naughty, Sorcerer. Like that roster didn't make it to the finals. VP with Zach Mazer didn't make it to the finals. Or if they did, I think they did really bad. Like we had some really good teams that didn't make it, and Twerkaholics did. So they crushed that whole event. They crushed all CC up to the finals. They crushed all of This LCQ, it was literally just like one bad set, and they have no chance.
Yeah, and honestly, with the way that Split 2 Pro League went, I'd be hard pressed not to say they don't at least make top 10 with the way everything just went down in this recent Pro League. Like, it was a weird split. There was a lot of weird things going down. I think Twerkaholics easily could have slotted in top 10, maybe even like top 5 with how some of these teams were playing this split. You never know. So yeah,
especially with the way they play, ratting and everything, like it would just catch so many people off guard.
100%. So, okay, those are the two teams coming from the Americas region. Once again, Oblivion and Men of Culture. Speaking of Oblivion, let's send it on down to Monsoon. A good 45, 50-minute interview for him talking about everything that has happened since the last time, making it in LCQ, talking about taking a break from Apex, working at a bakery for a little bit, all that good stuff. What he's going to do when he goes back to Japan. He says he has unfinished business with the restaurants over there. So we get into all of that. After that, we're going to have the regional recap for all the other regions, and then we're going to round it out with the heart-to-heart. Ladies and gents, let's hit a quick break and get into it. All right, ladies and gents, we have a very special guest here today for the second time on the pod, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Monsoon from Oblivion hops on. He is headed to Japan. He is ready to go after a fantastic performance in the Last Chance qualifier. Monsoon, how the hell are you?
I could not be better. I am so fucking good, man. And I'm so glad to be back. Thank you for having me on again. How about you? What's popping with the boys?
Oh, dude,
How you guys doing?
we're on cloud 9 right now. We are feeling good. We're feeling great. It's fantastic. It's been a beautiful day. It's always better when we get to talk to Monsoon. But Mon, I just want to kick it right off. Let's just get straight into it.
Let's straight into it. I like that.
LCQ was incredible, top to bottom. But not only that, you guys gave us one of the most edge of your seat moments in that final fight. What was going through your mind? You're down right there. You're watching your teammate go after it. What was going through your head?
Dude, I mean, instantly I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have peeked the wall. Like, what am I doing, dude? And then second, it was like, dude, how do I still be, like, good while down? So I'm, like, fucking calming for him, trying to give him info and shit, trying to make him feel as confident as he fucking can. But, I mean, I had my, we win this. Like, we have to win this moment while we're on top of the scaffoldings looking over and shit. So after that, it was just completely fucking locked in, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I think it was after Blinkster said something like he knew if he like lost that 1v1 that he was pretty sure it was ending right there. Did you guys think from your perspective at any moment that you knew that those teams were pretty much the final fight of the tournament?
Dude, I knew that. I mean, well, yes, because I believed that we could fucking win, but I had no idea who it was. So I didn't know how close and cutthroat it ended up being until after the fact, which is insane. Because if we didn't win the 1v1, then we get third or fourth and we don't qual, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that 1v1 win from Blink was just, like, crazy. Super crucial.
I can't remember who it was, but he literally put him on skates, bro. Like he
Dude,
like,
it was the boy Ace.
Unfortunately, he was lost.
No, and that I talked about this with chat too. Sorry, just to go off a little bit, but it's like there's two trains of thoughts. It's like, oh shit, I'm in a 1v1, and if I don't win this, then we're fucked, right? And then the other train of thought is like, okay, let's not give him time. Let's slide him now while he's fucking reloading. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Blink's just got it.
I mean, he was just like full M&K Bangalore on display
with R9 in a 1v1 for the dub. Yeah.
So how hard was it giving up the Bangalore?
Dude, you know, giving up the IGL role as a whole has been extremely difficult. I was like the source of 85% of our problems the first 3 months because I'm just like come back from from a 3-month break and then always IGLing and shit. But I was super, super stoked to have the opportunity to play a flex role like this, especially with Fun, my fucking G, and Blink, who is a really, really talented IGL, and I didn't quite know exactly how talented until playing with him. So it was hard at first, just a learning transition, but by LCQ, I was just super comfy, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, like taking a break, and then we'll get back into like maybe like the retirement portion in a bit. But like, you took a break, came back so long. First of all, what was it like to join this team? Blinks are fun. I mean, you and Fun probably go way back. You guys have been competing for so long against each other, and I know you were boys with like that squad in general.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, what's it like to join them now as a roster?
I mean, it was more hype than it could ever be for me to join a roster, that's for sure. You know, I've wanted to play with Fun for so long, to be honest, dude. So I think we had 3 separate instances throughout the past like 3 years that was like, oh man, let's play together. Okay, great. And then it fell through at the end. So having the option to play with the dudes and to be triple M and K and shit was just fucking awesome. And then of course, like our first scrim day, we like won it with 92 points, and Blink was like, I feel alive, this is it, I'm gonna tell everybody else fuck off, and we committed to it after day 1. And I was pumped. I was like, yeah, dude, fucking back in Pro League with the boys, like, could not be better.
Yeah, and this entire year has been kind of up and down, not just for you, but for a lot of people out there. I think the system that they put in place, there have been some people who have kind of gotten screwed out of some situations, but this year has been a trial for sure. Just overall, the entire year, to cap it off with something like that has to feel incredible, like given all of the toughness that this season has put upon you.
Oh, dude, for sure. I mean, when I was stepping away initially, I was like, dude, fuck this. You know, the thought of being on my PC made me like ill physically. And then, you know, coming back and full focused into competitive and myself as a player and a teammate, and then being able to compete throughout the entire season, and like it's last chance. It's our fucking last chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of the entire year, like this is it. This weekend is the only weekend that fucking matters for it. And to be able to play it and win it as we did, I mean, insane, dude. Fucking insane. I can't get over it now, dude. My fiance comes home and I'm like, dude, I can't believe it. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like still in my super fucking thankful mode right now, basically.
Yeah, we talk about the chance points a lot on this show, but like, you know, it takes a lot of like almost commendation to Fun and Blinkster and balls for them to stick it out with you, because like you came in with 0 points, but they were like, you know, we could probably like, the only way that you guys had really a chance after was like by winning Pro League, winning regionals, or winning LCQ. They're like, they stuck it with you rather than like, you know, when all these other IGLs or like players are being dropped out of like thousands of points that might give them that better chance. And you guys went out and you're making it through there compared to a lot of people who did make those roster swaps during Pro League and shit like that, which is crazy to see and awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so thankful for them, you know, because like I said, I was like the main source of the problems when I first started playing with them too. And at some point I was like, you know, Fun's played a lot of Castle because I'd fuck up every wall. I'm like, no, please, like, trust me, please, let me play. Let me get better at it. And they did, really. And ultimately, I think, like, winning the LCQ is just validation and reward that, like, we believed in us. We fucking practiced like it. We talked to each other and hung out with each other like it. And it fucking ended up translating in the best way possible. So, shout out to the fucking boys, man. Made it happen, dude. Triple M and K. So, yeah, man. Big ups to them for not dropping my dumbass.
So, how much time do you guys spend hanging out outside of the game, and how much of an impact do you think that comes to your guys' game day performances?
I feel like team culture has been the most viable component to success for any esports roster in any game, right? Because like there needs to be a relationship, a positive, a good reinforced rapport to be able to like understand like how your teammates are thinking, or whether or not they're confident, or how to apply your practice, or what to prioritize and shit like that. So I hang out with them as much as I can. Like, Fun and I play games all the fucking time. From Clover Pit to TFT to like Arc Raiders now. We actually spend a good amount of time just hanging out, shooting the shit when I'm not, you know, hanging out with my fiance. Blink's over on the fucking far East Coast, so he hops off pretty instantly. But every time we're online and hanging out, you know, we're just kicking it together, basically. So I think that's been super important. I think the entire like friendship triangle that we've had, and me and Fun especially, it's been nothing but beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, like, you and Fun now at this point in this game are becoming the old heads. Like, what are you guys? You guys close to retirement age, like in the years of esports?
Yeah, dude, we're almost at that hot sick Frex level, you know? Like that nocturnal hot sick Frex level. That's like 29 and a half or so.
That's like all of us on this pod right now. We're like also old compared to the scene.
Where did
I'm
it
28.
go?
Don't be putting that on me.
There you go. I'm the youngest one here.
That's so funny. Yeah, where's the time fucking gone, too, dude? Yeah, but I mean, that's another thing that's surprising is like, 27 now, Fun's I think 28, Blink's a little baby, 23 or some shit like that, and still able to pull it off. So fuck yeah, man. Let's go. What is retirement age anyways? Like fuck that. Fuck you. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, it
Blink
does
is,
seem
the
like-
most. Oh,
Okay.
sorry. You want to go? I was just gonna mention about how Blink is like the most unhinged person to watch in scrims. We were watching him one day, a couple buddies in the Discord. I think he was filling in with KCP.
Oh,
He was on Wraith, and it was just like he literally called for them. He's like, okay, we all need to lock down here, and then he'd just be queuing out, portaling on teams alone, fighting. He's like, don't play slow, as he's 1v3. We're like, what is he doing right now? He's not
dude,
listening to anything.
that's my favorite thing. He like froths at the mouth. He's like a rabid dog. Like little man is fucking built in the mind, like mentally. He's fucking jacked, which is so sick. He'd be like, oh, there's one over there. All right, fuck it. I'm going to take my ones on a pro league day. And I'm like, okay, dude, fuck yeah. Go take your ones. Go have fun. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what you really need. You need that fucking character trait to be able to really shine through in these intense moments like that, too. So unhinged as fuck, no doubt.
For sure.
Now, when you obviously move off the IGL role, and
Mhm.
we talk about roles in just a team dynamic in general, where do you feel like you've kind of fit in more now that you're kind of not in that IGL role? Where do you feel like you've been thriving more in like an anchor spot, more fragging? Like, or do you think it's kind of more fluid just based on the situation?
Yeah, I think it's really, really fluid. I think that like I kind of just do that like middle ground where like I anchor if necessary, but I also like refrag an entry like a little too much to my own fault. Like I'll be casting, I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm sliding in this bitch, and I'm on my shield like I do 250 damage, but I die, and then we die because I can't do that. I'm fucking castle, But that like fluid refragger and that co-IGL, just making sure like our direction is good and our pacing is good is like, hey, we need to think of a play like right fucking now, and then we need to commit to it. You know what I'm saying? So being able to feed information and feed ideas and reinforce and validate good ideas from Blink and Fun, and then also be like, nah, that's fucking silly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all the roles combined into one little fucking freaky goofball role, and I guess that's what I am now. So that's cool.
Yeah, I find like Castle, it tends to be one of the hardest characters to adapt to, especially from like a perspective of yours, like where you were IGL, kind of like, and one of those IGLs that was like first one in fights typically, where it's like now you cannot be the one going down.
Yeah.
So on top of that, though, you kind of entered this now with Legend Band, right? Like you missed the first two splits of everyone playing Legend Band.
Yeah.
That. What was it like entering like that, like halfway through when everyone else had some experience on that and jumping between characters?
Obviously, I was just like so far behind, but the entire like game theory of Legend Bands was super exciting because I've played so much Apex Legends, so many fucking matches since the start. So like having this new form of Apex Legends really excited me, and I feel like when you're organically and naturally excited, you learn the quickest about it. So it was super overwhelming, but once again, it's like fucking you just put the time in, especially if you love it. Time is less, and you fucking do it the best you can. So. Feels great now.
I kind of wanted to go back because obviously like we talk about just the season being tough overall. For a lot of different players out there, but you had your trials throughout this season. There was even a time where you stepped away for a little bit, and I wanted to go back to that and revisit how important was that to get to the place that you're at right now, because I think sometimes taking a break is really the catalyst into catapulting you into that next level. So how did you feel that break did for you?
Oh my God. I mean, it did everything for me, and I knew it was going to do everything for me too before. And I was like a coin flip in my brain on whether or not I'd even try to come back. Like I said, like after I stepped away and I started working at the bakery with my fiance and shit, like even sitting at my PC, like I spent 0 seconds, 0 time on my PC. Like my game of choice was my little fucking phone game I'd play 2 hours a night. You know what I'm saying? So being able to transition from like year 4 championships into like open, and then the trials and stipulations and all the fucking freaky shit that was going on and like all that shit, it was, I mean, super, super important. There's the entire structure of who I am now coming back into competing. So it was the most important thing I've ever done in my entire Apex career. And it sucked in the moment coming back because I was kind of punished with the ALGS point system like we talked about. But I mean, we fucking qualled, so there's like nothing to say about it now. Like, dude, the break was mandatory.
How was the bakery?
It was good, man. Like it was really difficult. Like they brought me in on a flex role is what they called it. And I was doing everything from like helping my fiance in the bakery to prepping sandwiches and soups to front of the house to, you know, opening up the bakery. My main role was like I'd go out 3 times a week and spend $5,000 going to like 4 or 5 different grocery stores and just buying a van full of like 1,500 pounds of food. And so it was really good. It was a refreshing break or a different perspective to life, you know, getting back into the kitchen and meeting people and hanging out. It's like, this is so nice. So it was really good, but of course, like it's physical. So shit was difficult in its own ways for sure. But you know, I'm glad to be back.
Did it ever feel weird kind of, you know, Japan champs, you guys got 6th, and that was arguably like your best performance like in quite a while, like for like, you know, 2-3
in
years,
ever,
right?
in ever.
Yeah, I guess if you like consider like from a land perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
so yeah, then after you took a break after that, was that kind of like a hard decision, or that maybe kind of like help being like, hey, I just had the best performance of my life, like I'm ready to like actually reel it back now?
Yeah. I mean, it reinforced both of my decisions. Like, hey, I just play 6th. Like, I'm playing what I feel is the best Apex I've ever fucking played. And now I'm like super confident in my personal process. But also is like, you know, like if I'm not enjoying it this much, like I've got a little bit of money to fucking chill out on and really figure out if I want to redirect my path in my life. And yeah, so it really worked for fucking both, to be honest. And yeah, that's basically it.
When you were in the bakery, were there ever moments where you're like, dude, this is cool, I'm enjoying this break, but damn, I miss it. I just miss it.
Yeah. I mean, toward the end too, you know, like I really, really loved it. It was a small little bakery owned by, you know, a lady and her husband, and they had a kid, and you know, they've been there for 8 years, and they just fully fucking funded and operated it for the past decade. So it was like super fucking grassroots and lovely, to be honest. But at the same time, it is like, oh shit, you know, lands in Japan again. Oh my god, dude! Like, there's no possible way I cannot try. At least try to get back there, just because of how life changing Japan was as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So like, as soon as I found that out, it was go time. Like I was watching EWC. I was like, like I get to work full time and watch EWC. All the boys are having fun. That's great. I'm over here doing it, and I felt great like that. But as soon as Japan was announced, I was like, fuck, that's it. So
Yeah,
Did
I mean,
your tweet say? Sorry, go ahead, Wyatt.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if anybody enjoyed Japan more than you, just from watching on Twitter. I wasn't even in, I mean, I went to Japan too, but I didn't get to see you in the element. I would have loved to see it or been a part of it because it looked like you were having a ball.
dude, I cried when I had to leave.
Yeah,
Like straight up.
Restaurants you were going to. That's what I was gonna say. Like, didn't you have a tweet that said something like, "I got unfinished business with the restaurants in Japan"?
Dude, I've got unfinished business with so many fucking restaurants. It's insane, dude. Like, I went to Osaka for 5 days, but I didn't go and get the super thick sumo pork cutlet. You know what I'm saying? The like 2 pound sous vide bone-in fucking pork ribeye that they deep fry with a bunch of bread and shit. Like, dude, how could I not do that? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's restaurants everywhere for sure. But yeah, that I got unfinished business in a lot of ways for sure.
Dude, why am I forgetting what it is now? Like there was like this katsu curry that my friend brought me to, and I've been thinking about it every day. I found out actually, it's just so bad. There's one near me that I could probably go get. That's probably just as good. Maybe not just as good, but good enough to until we get back to Japan.
For
it
sure.
So good. I think about that shit all the time.
Dude, yeah, man. The 24/7 automated fucking computer screen curry that costed $3 that I had at 3 a.m. slapped harder than anything else. Easy.
And I don't think people, like, you know, when I travel, people are like, oh, you're going to go to Italy and come back and the food's never going to taste the same. Didn't have that there. Maybe that's because I'm Italian. But, like, when I had the fried chicken in Japan, no chicken is ever the same once you have fried chicken in Japan. It just does not match. Even from the convenience stores. That shit's insane.
It blows my fucking mind. I get chills thinking about it, which is a little cheesy, but in the right ways, you know?
I thought the beef was really good. Like coming back to the States and eating the beef there, like it was hard for me to adjust.
Dude, it's fucking hard. Like, you know, being like a sushi chef before Apex and always making sushi all the time and sushi being like my fucking love, it's like I had an understanding of it from my perspective here in the States, but going out there just fucking flipped it all entirely. You know what I'm saying? Like salmon out there, they don't eat salmon. They don't get farm raised salmon. They get fucking fresh salmon that they catch, but it's like hardly anywhere. It's all about the fucking tuna. You know, there you can get the best tuna you've ever had in your life for $10 at the bottom of a train station. So like coming back, like it's not the same at all. Like I'm back to my farm raised, you know, Canadian Atlantic salmon, which is great and all, but like I can't have tuna. I just can't have tuna out here. It's like it's fucking fake. It's baloney, you know.
Yeah. Did you ever get a chance to go to a place and try out the lemon sours?
Ooh, like the drink?
Yeah, it's like all
Where they
you can
had
eat.
the taps, the kegs.
You have the
of
tap
those.
at your table.
Yes, totally. Fuck yes.
Okay,
How
that
am I
was
not
me and
wearing my
Jump- Me and
the
Jumbo spent
Japan
about
hat
3
today?
hours there, and I think we popped the tap, I think 3 times.
Yeah,
That's
2 or 3 times.
amazing.
It was great. We bought a hat. I bought a hat that says lemon sour in Japanese because it inspired us that much.
Dude, all of the cocktails and all of the drinks everywhere were so fucking good. I probably drank like 100 highballs and sours during my trip there. You know what I'm saying? So like that was like one thing I was like, oh, we're gonna spend $5 and get fucked up. Damn right we are. We're about to do it again too, for sure.
No,
Oh,
I had to work for a week. So I walk into a convenience store, everyone's like, want these, like, what are they, like, sparking zero? Like, these drinks? I was like, no, I gotta work, like tomorrow. I cannot get hammered tonight.
Yeah, that's so good, dude. So fucking good.
So obviously, like you're going to be going back. You have unfinished business, but it wasn't like you initially came back and just started playing. There was like a little bit of a stint where you thought about potentially coaching. There was a few different things you were wanting to try. I just was curious to get your perspective on the coaching side of things. I don't know how long it actually went through, but was there that opportunity, and were you thinking about like maybe doing that long term?
Yeah. So I coached LG for 2.5 months throughout like the middle to second half of Pro League, and then the fucking, you know, regional finals and shit too, leading up to EWC. And it opened my eyes a lot, just like the entire process and how to like approach people and how to like enable certain people and personalities and play styles, you know. I do really like coaching. I feel like my entire career through Apex, I've always wanted something very particular from my coaches, you know, and being able to like realize what I wanted for myself for other people was super helpful for me as a person, as a player, and as a teammate too. You know what I'm saying? So I would have loved to continue coaching, especially if I had offers. I like loved, you know, the analytical side, you know, searching up every team's rotates and their habits and the timings for everything. And all of that was super, super fucking fun. But alas, it's not as fun as winning last chance qualifiers to qualify to the biggest fucking event. No. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to return to coaching if an offer was there and I couldn't play. 1,000,000%. I'd do that in a heartbeat. But for now, I'm back competing, at least shooting my little gun, clicking my mouse.
There you go.
I mean, last time we had you on, we were in this Gibby Newcastle shotgun meta. Yeah. And then it seems that you showed right back up when they took the PK out of the care package, didn't nerf its damage, and everyone's like, hey, Gibby Newcastle are still pretty insane. We should use first game all the time. So, I mean, they just stuck you right back in there. Oh, and the long range meta with all the TTK. Like, how are you feeling about this meta?
Dude, I've thought about that so much, you know? Like, people have told me, like, oh, you're only good when, like, Shotgun and Jibby's meta. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it, bro. Hell yeah. Like, Jibby and Shotgun has been meta for, like, 4 splits, dog. Like, I'm fucking up, you know? I'm trying, at least. So, yeah, no, I fucking love it, dude. They took out the Sentinel and they kind of gutted the charge was OP as fuck for a moment.
No,
there,
it was outrageous.
It's stupid.
That was insane. Like, I'd just be turning and I'd kill a motherfucker with 250 damage that was 100 meters away in 1.3 seconds. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So, you know, I have my frustrations with the 30-30 and shit like that, but overall, I really like it, especially with shotguns and shields.
Yeah, I figure every time I see a meta like this, I'm like, I feel like Monsoon's enjoying himself at least. Dude. I think, like, you know, the charge rifle of the very little shots.
Dude, I fucking love it. And everybody's so good now, too, with shotguns. Like, I got my ass handed to me on many, many occasions in Pro League and shit. Like, these motherfuckers are freaky. Like, they freak me out almost. Because, like, my entire career is majority shotguns, you know? So, it's been really interesting to see, like, how shotgun being meta has influenced just the overall ecosystem. And people are fucking crazy. So, I love it.
Now, I did want to bring something up because, you know, I feel like I need to get in front of this before we get to champs. So, I'm an avid Monsoon ride or die. A lot of times I will put myself in situations to try and get good juju going your direction.
Dude, you have done this. Yep.
Many
you
times.
did that for us in grand finals. That was like
Yes.
that was like
I did
80%
everything
of
I
the
could.
reason we fucking made 6th place.
I did
Like, I
everything I
remember
could. So my entire process at champs was the second the game ended, literally the second the game ended, I did not say a word to anybody. I ran up the stairs. Mind you, I was in the front row, and you saw how big that stadium was. I was running up, and then there was a taped off square that I found. And you guys did good in one of the games where I stepped inside the square. So I would walk in a circle inside the square over and over and over again, and I would have to wait until I heard the first gun shoot in the next match. Once I heard that, then I could run back down and sit down with the boys. And you guys got 6th. You know?
I didn't know it was that deep.
It
Like,
was that deep.
That's awesome.
It was that deep.
But I do remember seeing you walk around.
It was multiple games of testing, to be clear. It started off with he had his hat on his right knee while watching the first game. You guys won. And then after the hat fell off and he thought it was his left knee, so you put it on the left knee, and then you guys didn't do good. So when he realized that the hat on the knee was out the window, and then after he walked away for a moment, and then when he came back, he realized you guys did good. So he figured it was the walk away. So this time he only ran up the stairs and came immediately back. You guys did bad. That's when he realized he had to stay up there till the first shot. It was multiple testing. It's a good thing Champs went to like what, 8 or 9 games. Like he was testing.
Bro, you're a fucking scientist.
Well, so I bring this up because the Open, I tried to do the same thing. I was in the crowd, and things weren't going as well as I had wanted from the boys in the Open. So inside the crowd, I just bought a complexity hat thinking it would flip the juju. Didn't flip it the way I would have wanted, but I did keep the hat. It's in the studio.
Yeah, I can't believe you're not wearing it.
Kept it.
Thank you so much.
I could have returned it, but this is what I need to ask from you.
Mm-hmm.
How early, if things start to go awry in Japan, do I need to start pulling out some juju? What would you like? Do you want me to wait a game or two just to kind of see, or should I just immediately start with the juju trying to get things going?
I feel like I'm kind of afraid of involving myself into this. You know what I'm saying?
That's very respectable. Incredibly respectable.
This is your fucking energy that you have created for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All I'm going to ask you is to fucking keep being happy for us, man.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah. No, I got you on that.
Fucking love it, dude.
Yeah, I got you on that. I was actually in a watch party when in the Last Chance qualifier. And the way I like to jinx things sometimes is I will just say out loud, "Oh, there's no way they're going to win this. Congratulations, other team." I must have said that 60 times before you guys finally got the final kill. I was like, "No, he can't win this. It's over." But in my head, I'm like, "This is going to flip it, and it's going to make it work." And that's exactly what happened.
And that's what it fucking did.
Here's where we are. You know?
I can whiff 3 PK pumps on when we fought on the East platform and the team jumped down from the fucking top rock area and I whiffed 3 PK shots and I'm 1 HP in my head. I'm like, dude, you fucked it, you piece of shit. You know? And then Blink's out there fucking doing his weird little crackhead fucking French Canadian thing. You know
that was wild, by the way.
I don't even understand half of what he's saying, but it's so good anyways. And we're there and then we fucking clean it up. I'm like, oh shit, dude. And then pushing the team on top hill, I go down to a nade. There's a lot of things that went wrong that could have gone even worse, but it fucking didn't. And it's probably because of you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Anything I can do. If things go well in Japan, I will give you the rundown of what I did in the meantime to try and help things go well.
Yeah, put it in bullet points so I can get it tattooed as a back piece. You know what I'm saying?
If you win, I will have a full outline for you.
I'm gonna imbue myself with that fucking energy. I will be a weapon.
Yes,
100%.
It's always so fun having you guys at LAN. I feel like a lot of players now try to really when they do the walkouts get do like something fun or try to get the crowd amped up. And I think that started because of like what you and Kim were doing when you guys do your walkouts. Because everyone before that, other than maybe like having something kind of chill, no one did much. Where you guys come out jumping and screaming and dancing and whatever, and it just
yeah.
Like, and then after again, like Japan, there obviously wasn't a very big English speaking audience, not a big North America audience. You guys win game one, and people aren't cheering that much, and we're front row, we're screaming to you guys, and you guys hear us, so you start freaking out. We love that. It's
Dude,
so good. Like,
I mean, there's no thoughts behind it. It's just the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just the fucking reality of it, dude. Like, when I walk through that tunnel and I can't see shit, and then I see this stage, dude, like, I just want to fucking throw up and piss myself at the same time. But I can't do that because I'd get banned from the fucking future events. So I'm like, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Dude, 100%. That's just the fucking energy flowing, man. That's the shit.
Yeah.
I wish more people felt comfortable with it, but at the same time, everybody's themselves, so can't ask for more.
My thing is just land's always better if you guys are there. Like it always is.
And I can't say Wig. I was watch partying Wig's watch party, and he very much made the point of like, we need to have fun in Monsoon at the land, and that he was like, I don't want them to not be there.
Dude,
And I think that's a feeling that's held by more than just Wig and us here.
man, you guys are so sweet, dude. I just want to fucking take a serious moment to thank everybody for their support throughout the entire journey, let alone this entire Pro League and the LCQ too. Like, none of this shit would be whole without every single fucking person and their love for the game and for us and for competition and shit. Like, it creates what it is for me, and that's the most important thing. And the same thing with fucking lands too. It's like going there, it's like, yeah, competing is awesome, of course, but being able to fucking create lifelong experiences with people from across the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the shit that sticks. That's purpose right there, So every single person, all three of you motherfuckers, Wig, Greek, every person in fucking chat, hyping or hating, like, that's just fucking energy toward the cause, and I appreciate that more than anything the most. So fucking thank you guys.
I mean, thank you too for the entertainment. I did like the other part about having you at LAN is anytime there's any sort of video project, I'm just waiting till Monsoon hops on the screen. And I think last time the funniest thing I saw was when they were doing like each person's name as emojis. Yours was there, and you just couldn't get Monsoon.
That was pretty fucking hard.
It was pretty
dude.
difficult, yeah.
And like going into it, it's like, oh shit, I better like get it right, or I'm gonna really fucking embarrass myself, But ultimately that ends up being the best anyways. So
yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun. I think any video project they do at Champs, you got to be a part of it. You got to be a part of it.
Every single time they're like fucking dangling it in front of me, dude. You see that one short where like the dude has a pickle and he's going, yeah, and it pans over to the fucking guy cross-eyed and drooling and shit, and he's just like over a fucking pickle out of some man's hand. Like, that's me, dude. Every time I'm like, fuck yes, tell me more about it. What can I do? Let me meet everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean, that's the most fun thing, is like being like such a privilege and so honored to be included and thought of for all of it. But it's so fucking cool to be a part of it and to actually do it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of fun happening. There's going to be a lot of fun instances. Japan itself is just an incredible place to go and spend time in. But ultimately, you're there for a goal. You have a goal. You're trying to win this whole damn thing. Yeah. Going into this, what's it going to be like preparing to get ready for it? Is there going to be like another slight break because it is kind of far away? Or are you guys just going to keep practicing, keep getting into it, and trying to work on your craft as a squad together?
I think with this opportunity, it would be an absolute fucking waste to not go 200% into trying to win. So right now we're in a little bit of a break as we like try to figure out like fucking scrims and everybody's just hanging out and celebrating. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, my thing wasn't lighting up, so I was afraid for a moment. But we're gonna come back to international scrims starting probably the 1st of next month and just go fucking as balls to the walls as we individually can and as a team. So that's it. Little break for now. Do a little Halloween stream type stuff and then fucking come back full force.
There we go. Boys, did you guys have anything else, or did we want to wrap this one up?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think we covered it all. Like when I'm going through my notes here, yeah, I mean, I knew we'd power through this one. I feel like it was quicker than usual.
Yeah,
Dude.
no, 'cause it's LCQ, baby.
It's LCQ.
Oh wait, I had one question about OCQ actually. I've always been curious about this kind of like a match point situations in general, and I feel like I understand. I would know the answer, but you know, you guys had an early win in LCQ. You game 3, you guys
Game 3.
win, but
Yep.
you guys were still a little bit of ways from the match point, and so you
Yep.
managed to win another game in game 6. When you
Yep.
win 2 games in a match point final, it's not common to win 3 games in a lobby in general. Do you feel like it's like, do we like ever nervous about like, do we have what it takes to do this again? Or winning like that when you're playing good, does it just like fire you up where you're like, we're fucking full steam
Yeah.
ahead?
No, it fucking fires you up because the question of are we even good enough is not even fucking there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the entire fucking pro league split is like we know we're good enough. We just have to fucking do it. You know? And so yeah, obviously like especially in grand finals at LAN, like dude, winning 2 games alone is crazy. But in this particular instance, we like won that game, got in the MP, and we are like, let's like this is fucking it. I don't give a fuck. We're gonna win this next game easy. And then like we trolled a little bit, and then who was it? Men of Culture were top 3 in that fucking City Hall game, and we were like, no, please, bro, come on. Like if we get this chance again, we're not letting it slip the next game. And next game came out, and we saw it was a thermal zone, and Blink wanted to play East train tracks, and he's like, oh, dude, like, I think it's going to pull here, but if not, like, we have kills. Like, what do you think, Mon? And I'm just like, dude, fuck it, bro. Like, play from our gut, play our game how we always do, full commit, full trust, and if it works out, it works out in the best way possible. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this shit just powered us up.
Yeah.
For sure.
Beautiful.
Fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I bring it up because like there's so many times you see teams get like 2 early wins and then just which yours came out a little bit more spread out, 3, 6, and then 8. So it was like a little bit spread out there. But like yeah, it's so often where there's times where like the match point winning team wins 1 game where there's a team there who won 2 games throughout the set and just couldn't manage to close it out after. So it's pretty cool to see that you guys won 3 of 8 after.
Dude, so fucking thankful that we played as well as we did when we needed to. And like as soon as it happened too, like after we won, I got off and I'm standing in the kitchen, I'm like, holy fuck, like did I really deserve that? I played like shit, you know? But that's Apex, man. That's fucking Apex.
That
Yeah,
it is.
so-
That it is.
Getting fucking hyped.
All right, E, you want to hit him with it?
Yeah, but before I do, I have a so. Do you think that your charged rifle off of the evac with the full will go down as the best sniper play in Apex history?
In the sniper play in Apex history, I have no idea. There's so many good clips, you know, but that shot, that sequence of shots will forever remain the greatest shots that I've ever hit in a video game, period.
That
So-
has to be like burned into your mind. Like,
Dude.
there's just no.
Oh my, like the feeling of going lightheaded after spitting all over my monitor and screaming when it happened, like that shit's imprinted on my brain. Best in Apex? I don't know. I don't know if I'm fucking worthy enough to like fucking rank that as that, you know what I'm saying? But for
sure.
myself, best shots I've ever fucking hit, no doubt.
Did you hit 2 that game? Because I remember talking to you immediately after finals ended, and you're like, I hit 1 sliding down the hill too that they didn't catch. You
Dude,
said
so-
something like that to me.
Yeah, it was a different game and it was pricey again.
Yeah.
And I was going from Jurassic Hill down.
No, that's
Dude,
too funny.
It's so sad, bro. It's so sad, dude. Like they were going through it too. I felt so bad, dude, because like ultimately, like what I chalked it up like luck, you know, like yeah, I hit the shot, I placed it, but like whether or not I'm fucking in the condition in the mind space to be able to do that as accurately, it's like I feel like that's kind of like a coin flip sometimes. But yeah, Jurassic Hill. Down to spiders into barometer, through a tree as he was flying off an evac to top hill, and I 2-tapped him through the fucking tree, and they landed like halfway up the hill, couldn't rotate in the end game, and got congested with a bunch of teams and died in like 18th or some shit like that. And I was just like, Jesus Christ! And then that was the first kill. So yeah, I felt bad.
We gotta go find that one because I don't know if that one's ever been shown.
I don't know.
Do you ever get people who are like legitimately like mad at you for your charge rifling antic? Like, obviously, like, it's in the game, but I'm not gonna, like, when I'm getting charge rifle at rank, like, especially when the charge rifle was really broken, I had to really work on not having negative emotions towards Nick's aims, because he used that every single game.
That motherfucker,
and so I
dude.
feel like there's just got to be people that play against you in comp and are like, if I get charge rifled by Monsoon one more time, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Same thing with the Sentinel too. Like, everybody fucking hates it. And like me, if I get like, even if I don't go down, if I get shot at by a charge rifle, I'm like, dude, are you fucking serious? You can, like, get a job, bro. Like, get a life. What are you fucking doing? You know what I'm saying? But I know if it's me and I'm griefing Falcons from up the hill, and he comes in my chat, and Hal comes in my chat and he's like, yeah, that's a real gun. You're dog shit, you know, or some shit like that. I'm sitting there like, ee! Like, I'll miss 5. I'll miss 5 and I'll be like, ooh, I got 2 more. Like, if this hits, like, that guy's fucked, you know? And so it's worth it. But
I mean,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it was the final game of champs last year.
Mm-hmm.
You also ruined Shopify's chances. They're
Dude.
running through like the ravine, and
Pissed on him.
yeah, you like headshot fucking Zainu, and then I think he gets revived, and you hit him again while he's in the train cart
Dude,
in the bottom of the ravine going up to.
I did 550 damage to them on that slide down.
Yeah.
And those sequence of shots were. I also think about that as to try to like apply myself to fucking replicate something as that, because I remember the feeling of when I was pulling the fucking trigger, you know, for each shot, and I'm like, yeah, that just like made sense and it connected and it fucking did well, and it was 3 KP and loot for us, and I was like, yes, dude. So
Fucking Zainu's reaction to all, he's like, I'm just getting fucking charge rifled by Monsoon, man.
Dude,
Something like that.
you
Some
know,
shit like that.
I love and I hate it. I hate to be on the other end of the gun, but damn, do I also it's a double-edged sword for fucking sure.
Well, gladly you're on the pulling the trigger end more often than not.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, 100%. Like, fucking do that shit. Like, people are like, how do you get the shots? Like, dude, I just take a fucking million of them, dude. Like, one of them's gonna be cool sometimes. So
Yeah.
that's it.
So would you say, like, do you think a larger part of your success with like snipers specifically in comp is because you simply put up more reps than like anybody else when it comes to snipers?
Dude, I have like 12,000 hours in a military simulator in which I spent 12 hours a day during my elementary, middle, and high school, skipping school, sitting on a hill over 1,000 meters away, sniping people. Like, that's what I attribute my sniper rifle efficiency to, is like DayZ, right? DayZ mod for Arma 2, Operations Arrowhead, fucking 2 main cities where everybody spawned. There's Electro and then there's Cherno. And I'd sit on top of a hill. Sorry, one sec. I would sit on top of a hill and I would range my dudes to 600, 700, 800 meters. And every day for fucking 8 to 12 hours, I'd sit there and snipe people. Like, that's fucking it. And Kim's like, yeah, you're the only person I've ever seen in Apex range find it and then use the mil dots on scopes. And I'm like, you know, like, it's just built in. I don't even fucking think about it. Like, I've just done 10,000 hours of milsim training, essentially. So, yeah, 100% the reps.
There we go.
I remember you mentioned that last time too. I like, not the whole breakdown like that, but that you use the mil dots and that not many people like use that, and that they've called it out about you.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's all intuition at the end of the day, and you just like refine and build up the intuition. And if you're at 95%, and then the next week you're at 96%, you're hitting one more shot. You know, if it's 96 out of 100, that's one more fucking shot on the thing. So that statistic translates to your overall efficacy in games for sure.
So wait, we talked about this once, and then like if you want to hit him with the last question, but we talked about like for Apex you had to do like a Mount Rushmore of snipers. I think we threw you on ours, but like you can do what you want if you have other people who inspire you, what you feel. What would you do your Mount Rushmore for players with the sniper or with snipers?
Okay. My Mount Rushmore, just like the 3 most, not 4, 3. 4, maybe 4. I'm trying to think of a 4th.
But I think you're thinking 3 because you're including yourself, obviously. So you're only looking for 3.
Like when I think of like iconic sniper players, I can only think of like fucking like 3, to be honest.
All right.
Who? Zach Mazer.
Okay.
For funny reasons. He used to name himself Longbow way back in the day in like year 1. And like Zach was bad early on. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't. We were all bad.
Listen, he was on this show and he literally goes,
No,
"I
he
was
talked about
terrible."
how bad he was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, so from his own words.
He was like coming into it still, but with the fucking longbow, he would just hit heads. I'd be like up on a fucking team, and he'd hit a headshot, and I'd kill the dude. And then the next dude, he'd hit a headshot, and I'd kill the fucking dude. You know. And then obviously like Mande for sure, of course, up there 1,000,000%. And then fun. I actually know who my other Mount Rushmore is. 1,000,000% uncontested first face. I can't believe I didn't think of this before. It's fucking Reptar. Like all the OGs fucking remember when it was me, Reptar, and Shiny. Reptar only used longbow and the Sentinel. And he was actually the original Sentinel user. Like, I remember one time when we won some, like, online tournament, we were all the way up north on a far fucking, what's that POI in the northeast of Wedge? Why am I forgetting it? Fucking refinery. Whatever it is now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's Climatizer.
Climatizer, yeah. I don't know how the fuck I forgot that. Thank you, though. We're all the way up north. And like the default spot is train tracks in the North Hill and the fucking truck on the side and stuff. And every single time we get pushed by NRG, which is Sweet Dreams, Nathan, and fucking Rocker at the time. And we like held their fucking push off this one game that we needed to win. And we held it off long enough that they felt uncomfortable and wanted to Valcolt. And Reptar 2-tapped Sweet out of the Valcolt, and we swept them and won the game from that. And that was like the biggest thing. Like Sweet after the game was like, Reptar, that was a really nice fucking shot, you know? Reptar was the fucking sniper daddy at the time. Like before Monday, before me, before fun, it was Reptar.
Huge.
There it is.
So I
There
do
we
that.
go.
Yeah.
All right. So the question that I ask everybody when they come on to the pod again
Yeah.
is from the last time you were on the pod to now. It's been about a year.
Okay.
During that time frame, what's the most important thing you've learned?
Oh man. Just be fucking patient. Like the patience and the like affording the time and making the time and space to fucking understand everything instead of just like being so dead set on how you feel is the most important fucking thing. That 1,000,000%. I know that's kind of vague, but it's like,
Hey, it counts.
just trust and value everything as much as yourself kind of thing, you know? So
Beautiful.
but just refine your process. That's it. Feel good, be good, play good.
Beautiful words to live
Here we
by, and another beautiful interview. Monsoon, it is a pleasure to have you on every single time. We'll be rooting for you from afar. Obviously, I've got some things I got to work out. I got to figure out what we got to do. I have some time to get it worked out, ready to go. So I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. Cannot wait for champs. Hopefully, the next time we have you on, there's gonna be a trophy behind you. That's what we're aiming for.
And I'm drunk as fuck, dude. Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be a great interview.
We'll
be
celebrate
fantastic.
together.
Yeah.
No doubt,
love
dude.
it.
I love you guys. Thank you for fucking having me on a second time. The podcast is amazing. You guys are so fucking great. Appreciate it as always, man.
All right. Well, thanks, man. Can't wait to see you soon.
Woo.
All right, ladies and gents, we got the regional recap going. We have Jay with us along for the regional recap as well. Let's kick it off like the same order we always do, Dawn. Let's kick it off with EMEA. We had SN and FaZe making it as our top two teams. What did you see from EMEA? What were some of the storylines?
I mean, to be honest, it's just kind of a trend with this entire weekend is we're getting some of the GOAT names making land, which, again, we love seeing the underdog stories where we, kind of find some new teams, but it's always great to see some of the big names back. We get, which obviously they were the Horde at the time they played, but they've signed to Supernova since then. But we got the Horde / Supernova and FaZe Clan making it. That's Kazakh, 9 Impulse, and Hard Decky back at a LAN. You'll love to see it. The man himself. And then somehow, for as much crap as we talked about FaZe just not showing up when they needed to, they have a pretty damn good final here in LCQ. And they definitely were trending in a better direction towards the end of the split. Yeah. And you were kind of just wondering if they could put it together on the day they absolutely needed to, because we just really hadn't seen it. But they really seemed like the FaZe that we really expected with the names that they have with Cinetic, with Zane, with Nags. All three players accomplished in their own right. But it was just great to see. Again, it was from game one again, FaZe goes out, wins the first game, and maybe weren't the most consistent the rest of the day because I think they got out to like 38 or 40 points like super quick. I just think they hit like match point like really quick if I remember that right. And then they kind of just had like the stretch. It's like, oh man, like they're like slowly but surely kind of like creeping back towards everybody. So or they kind of choke it, but they end up clutching it and able to score enough points to hold on to that second spot. And yeah, just again, some of the bigger names that we could have seen make it out of the Mia do. And I think thank God honestly for that region because they they have definitely lacked a lot of headlines this year. And I think at least for the teams that they're sending to champs, for everything that happened, this is about the best scenario that they could have hoped for in terms of the names that made land.
It's going to be hilarious when Alliance just wins it and just washes out the rest of whatever EMEA was this entire year. But I did want to talk about FaZe because, Don, for whatever reason, since we started this regional recap section, it feels like we've talked about FaZe so many times because last Pro League, they were shit for the first 2 days. They had like a nice comeback, but it wasn't enough. Now it was kind of like the opposite. It was just like they couldn't string anything together, but here they are. They're going to champs. They're going to make it. And I feel like if you look at them overall, bird's eye view, it hasn't been the worst. Obviously, you'd like to see better, but it hasn't been the worst, right? Like they got into the spot when they needed to.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the big thing for this team was always like, can their 3v3 fighting really lead to like getting enough points to make it to like match point or score high in some of these Pro League days? Because we've seen they're able to put up kill numbers. I mean, I think the majority of their points did come from kills in this LCQ, and it just really seemed like even if they were winning fights during Pro League early on, they were dying immediately after that because some of the fight decisions they were making were just very poor. But it really just seemed like recently, a lot of the fights they've been choosing have been a lot better. They've been cleaning up a lot better. We've seen the likes of like Zane going crazy. I think he had over 20 kills during the final and looked like the Zane that we've seen back, at previous lands. But again, they're always going to be led by their 3v3 fighting. That's what is going to get them the most success. And at least in the LCQ, when it mattered most for them for this year, they were able to pull it out.
Do you have anything on EMEA, Jay?
FaZe, I was starting to get nervous for them, not gonna lie, because they started off really hot, and then based on what you guys are talking about, like where they just fall short a lot of times, or it feels like they're building momentum. And they were like literally those first 3 games, they had 13 kills in a win, 9 kills in a 5th place, and then 11 kills in a 5th place. Like 33 kills in the first 3 games is crazy. And then after that, 1 kill, 4 kills, 4 kills, 0 kills, 0 kills. Like they just cool off really hard. And like, luckily, I to be honest, and this is not any disrespect to them because they could have picked it up. But if Supernova doesn't win that game when they do, and Trojan wins it, all of a sudden Trojan is right there on their heels. I think only 3 points behind FaZe, and there's even more teams now on match point that I think a couple had crossed it, including Trojan in that game. So things could have got really dicey. So when it ended, it was almost like perfect for them. But it was very good to see because honestly, this team, it's so interesting because everybody in EMEA, like on paper, this team should be like dominating because Cinetic is almost viewed like I've even like saw somebody, I can't remember who it was doing a tier list on stream the other day of just EMEA players. And Cinetic was basically like outside of like Hawkus and like the clear like top dogs of the region, like Light, for example. Cinetic or Hiarka, Cinetic was viewed as like in that A tier. Like he's not an S tier IGL of EMEA, but he's viewed as like an A tier. Like outside of the guys who've clearly like been there, done that, proven it, he's technically viewed as like the next best guy. And yet when you kind of look at his typical performances, he really has never truly put that together. Like EWC 2024, I think, was the only one, but that went 13 games and they got 13th. So, but other than that, like the Open, they didn't make it to the finals. And I don't even, has he ever made a other land besides those 2? Don, correct me if I'm wrong. Has he? I think he has, right? Yeah, but those were bad too. Like the champs, they got 29th. Split 2 playoffs, they got 37th. Like he just hasn't fully like put it together. LA, they got 25th. Like it just always felt like he hasn't like been able to fully put it together. And then you add in Zane, who's always like, every time everybody talks about EMEA rollers, besides like the obvious two from Alliance, his name is like right next up. You know what I mean? People just immediately put him right there. And yet outside of like his first couple lands, also hasn't really put it together. Nags has been around forever, like veteran who's been on so many different teams that have done so many things at LAN. And so it just felt like on paper, this team should be way better than they are. So it was good. I liked being able to see them like actually have a performance where they like put it up and they did what they were expected to do, because just on paper, looking at this lobby, this should be a team that qualifies. So
Yeah.
I was happy to see him do it.
Yeah,
But
and
also, or sorry, before we,
yeah.
you go, Don, you go.
Well, I think you might have about to say potentially the same thing, is that to see the likes of Hardecki, Nine Impulse
Yeah,
being back at LAN 2, it's just awesome to see. Obviously, like,
dude.
we all thought Hardecki wasn't coming back to Apex, you know, that he was going to be gone. He comes back. They obviously, you know, don't really have the best of splits. And so they have to like come into this LCQ and like you're thinking like this team has to qualify based at least only off the names, right? And you just aren't sure how teams are going to look. And, you know, especially they don't really have like the craziest of starts that first game. The second game, they have that pop off that kind of gets them going. But like, again, just having Hardecki at LAN, just being able to say that out loud again, it just gives you the Grim Reapers back, man. It's just it's a great feeling for sure. And I know you definitely agree too, Jay.
Can I just say, what a baller call by the Org Supernova to pre-fire their shot and sign them the day before the finals. I feel like good business, every other org, you would wait to actually see if they qual for champs. And who knows, maybe their contracts was like, we're going to sign you, and if you don't qual, you're dropped after the month. You know what I mean? Maybe. But the fact that they announced the signing the day before, maybe they got the org buff and then they go out there and win, which they were still technically the Horde, but like it had been announced this team is going to be Supernova after this LCQ. So shout out to the org for pre-firing their shot, and then shout out for those boys for like actually, you know, giving the org reason to be pumped, because now they got a team that's going to be representing them at champs, and that's pretty sick.
There it is. Now, let's move into APAC North, Dawn. The two teams that are qualified are obviously Riddle Order and Reignite. I'm going to have you break that down. While you do that, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty crazy circumstances with this one, because obviously I think coming into this, I think the favorites would have been, you know, like an NFX, would have been like a Soten. You know, even looking at a team like Black Sheeps, you know, they had been pretty hot recently as well. Ty had won a match day during the Pro League. Just a lot of other names you kind of think first before Riddle Order and Reignite, even though both rosters have very good players on it that have represented the region at LANs before. We just had not really seen consistency from either of these teams. And Black Sheeps even starts out hot. They drop a 23-point game one. They drop, I mean, even they go out in 11th place, but they've got 8 points in game two, then 25 points in game three. Like, you're like, oh man, like Black Sheeps might end this quick based on how they were playing. And Riddle Order had 19 points through 5 games. Like, for a team to have 19 points, not playing very well, you had the split that you had where you just, you know, there's trying to figure out the IGL situation, figuring out comps the whole time. Scrims were never good. They just had nothing ever to build on. For these guys to come back games 6 through 9 and figure out a way to win the regional final and qualify, I mean, if you need to see anybody's reaction with like what this means to like the Apex scene, go watch back Privacy watching that last game, because seeing the likes of Meltsera, Taida, Momon all qualify, you know, players that have represented the region numerous times at LAN, it was just an awesome thing to see. And Riddle Order, obviously, that org being back at LAN too is great as well. But I mean, it just came out of nowhere, Jay. I mean, I could not believe the comeback they were able to put together. But maybe that's just, you know, the clutch gene that some of these veterans have.
Yeah, I did not watch all of APAC North because it starts hella late and I went to bed. But when I went to bed, Riddle was down. Like they were in the dumps. They were doing terrible. And I was like, it's just one of those days for them. And so then when I woke up and I was like, wait, they won? Like, what? And it's funny because unfortunately Wig was at TwitchCon, so he didn't get to watch, but he signed to Riddle and he like loves those boys. I know he probably was so upset that out of every LCQ he had to miss, it was the one where Riddle goes out there and wins it. But he did tweet that maybe him not being there to cast or cursed him was maybe the reason why. But dude, it honestly, just those three as players. APAC North is such an interesting region because I feel like so many of the players that are often making land from that region are typically the same. And then every roster mania feels like we just kind of like take all of them, do a little shuffle randomizer and put them on a bunch of different teams. And so you never know like quite which teams are going to work out. And to be honest, when this Riddle team formed, I felt like they might be one of those that just doesn't quite make sense. It doesn't really quite work out because like Meltstera, he's, had his run with the Fnatic teams. Like Titus had his runs with a variety of teams, so like those North Eption rosters back in the day. And so just sort of, it always feels like a little bit of a hodgepodge. And so I honestly just didn't really have faith in them. But the fact they were able to pull it out and then show that kind of a comeback is honestly tippable, because that's the kind of thing that you're going to need, especially at champs. Because some of these lobbies, like if you do make it to that finals, you're not always going to start off with the best games. We've seen TSM do that when SSG won. They started off like pretty terribly. Some teams are just going to do bad. Now, unfortunately for Riddle, I don't know how well they're going to do at LAN, because unfortunately they still do feel like one of those sort of hodgepodge APAC North teams that have low expectations. But that's how I felt about them going to LCQ. So they've already proved me wrong, at least in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. And at least, also just giving a little love to Reignite as well. I mean, again, Reignite, obviously, we've seen that name, that org before, and have got some teams to go to LAN. I mean, this roster in its own right, each player's been to multiple LANs as well. And I mean, again, they, weren't really getting too much recognition throughout the day. They had, like a 6th place, a third here, fifth there. I actually don't think they won. They won one game.
They won one
5,
game, yeah.
But that was it. Like the rest of the time, it really wasn't like crazy pop off games, but they were just super consistent, stacking up points throughout the day. They kind of just like this sleeper that kind of came through, and they actually ended up with the most points, which is pretty crazy to say the least, all things considered. But I mean, definitely a big shout out to them. Love to see, just the org back. Obviously for those players. I mean, I know Ray, who's on that roster, I think it's like his 6th or 7th LAN he's going to be going to. So definitely, again, a ton of experience there. But yeah, it's definitely feel bad for the likes of like Black Sheeps. They absolutely played amazing Apex to start off the LCQ and really did well towards the end of the Pro League, but unfortunately to come up just a little bit short, along with like the likes of like Soten, who we had so much to talk about. I think they kind of had like the exterminators kind of like feel where the LCQ just doesn't go their way. Kind of obviously opposite, because at least exterminators was in the picture. Soten was just not in the picture ever during regional finals, and I think that just kind of stacked into this performance too. Which is unfortunate to see, because again, it really was a team that built up a ton of fun storylines with Kakagori and Mia K and Gavo. So that definitely was unfortunate to see. But again, on the flip side, love to see Roto Order back at the LAN with those guys.
And the last region.
Sorry, real quick. Black Sheeps, I felt pretty sad seeing them not make it, because when I went to bed, they were like pretty firmly up top, and because they had just started off so hot. And to be honest, like when you just look at like the after like the first 3 games, because in those first 3 they get 11th with 7 KP, then that second with 16, and then I guess actually just after that those first 2, because then 14-1, 10-1, 16-0, 10-3, 14-1. They just never got back inside of the top 10 the rest of the day. And it just sucked, because it felt like they started off so hot, and they kind of did what I thought FaZe might have done, where it's like the gas is completely gone. And Reignite, to give them credit, they clutched up huge in those final 2 games, because they got 29 of their 83 points in the final 2 games. Goodness. And so like, yeah, they didn't win. They didn't do enough to close it out. But usually in a lot of these LCQ lobbies, there's like one team that gets so far ahead of the pack that they, like Men of Culture did, where it's like, yeah, they've probably locked up second. You know what I mean? And so it's oftentimes you just have to be the team that wins. But Black Sheeps, they weren't able to do it. They literally needed like one more good game after game 2, and they would have locked up second place. But unfortunate for them, they just didn't. And Reignite, like those, I feel like it's almost like, because they didn't win those final 2, they weren't the team that won on match point. Like a lot of people might gloss over that. But second with 10 KP, 4th with 5 in the last 2 games to like nail their spot at LAN. So shout out Reignite.
And the last region, that is APAC South. Donnie, the region of fun. Team Mango and Las Vegas Inferno were your top two teams. Don, what'd you see?
I mean, honestly, it's apparently the story of a coin flip, at least based on what's been discussed. Because we had somehow, some way, again, we talk about the big names making land. Strafing Flame from absolute. I mean, I don't know if you even call it left field. You call it the next county over. Like, I don't even know how, like, where he came from to make land. But here he is once again. Allegedly had flipped a coin whether he was going to play or join Team Mango. And he apparently chose wrong and ended up on a team for what it sounds like. But I mean, he reunites with Easy Flash, which again, we've seen what they've been able to do in the past. You know, they have Crumbs as a third, who's definitely been an up and coming, or a very stable player, for quite a while, out of Australia. And, yeah, I mean, just, again, great to see names like that make it back to land. You know, obviously we know how good of a player like Easy Flash was with Strafing Flame, and obviously Easy Flash didn't even have a team, you know, for most of Pro League. He comes back, plays like the last couple of weeks. And then obviously Strafing Flames with his split, how it's kind of been all over the place. But yeah, again, sometimes you just kind of have those reunions where you come back together and it's like, hey, like we actually are pretty damn good at this when we play together. And that just really seemed to be the case for these guys. Unfortunately, you know, for the likes of like a Dreamfire, it really seems like it was the curse of the team that hit match point after like 3 games, because they win 2 of the first 3 games and then don't qualify and finish 3rd place. Like, it's just, you hate to see it, you know, like you really hate to see stuff like that for Dreamfire. But
Bro,
yeah,
the crazy part was Dreamfire, how many points did they have after those first 2? So that'd be 18 points that they got in game 3, and then that would be 22. So they literally needed 10 points from games 2, 4, and 5. And in all 3 of those games, they got 0. And so you're like, oh no. But then in game 6, they won 3 games and they didn't qual. Why? Because they just didn't get those 10 points from games 2 through 5. And if in game 6 they were on match point already, they won that game. They would have been going to land, would have stamped their ticket. Boom, we're all good. Instead, they get that win, and you're like, okay, listen, like it started to feel like that was going to be a team like Men of Culture, where like they've won 3 games at this point. If they can just not have these duds and stay red hot, they're going to be going to land. And then what happens after they get their win? They get 8th with 0, 8th with 2, 14th with 0 the next 3 games. So they just lacked consistency. And then the craziest part, though, is that final game. You literally have Strafing Flames team who wins. You have the boys who I don't even think they reached match point, but they were the team who got second. But the other 2 teams in the top 4 was Las Vegas Inferno, who ended up getting 2nd place, and Dreamfire in 4th. So like you had 3 match point teams in that final 4, and it could have gone, which I think ultimately for Las Vegas Inferno, by that point, they were so far ahead that assuming either Dreamfire or Team Mango was to win, Inferno was going to get 2nd. But we were so close to getting like an Oblivion versus, ironically, Team Inferno situation like happened in Americas, where both are on match. In fact, we didn't even talk about that in the Americas thing earlier. RIP Inferno, dude. I feel so bad for those boys, Team Inferno and Americas, because they literally had a final fight, a 1v1, to stamp their ticket to land on match point. That has got to be so painful. And I saw one of them tweeting that he was like, he felt like giving up, and Imperial Hal, actually, of all people, gave him some encouragement. So shout out to Hal. But we had almost a situation like that where it could, like, I was rooting for a Dreamfire versus Mango final 3v3. Unfortunately, Dreamfire died in 4th, and they weren't able to get to that situation. But imagine that. Dreamfire versus Team Mango for the win to stamp your ticket to champs. It was unfortunate for Dreamfire, because it really felt like they could have been one of those like teams that just sucks up tons of points and is able to get 2nd. But it ended up being Las Vegas Inferno who did that. But even them, like they clutched up hard in the last 4 games in terms of like getting a ton of points. Game 7, 14th with 8. Game 8, 2nd with 4. Game 9, 2nd with 11. Game 10, 3rd with 6. Like, they were not dominating throughout the whole day. It was they showed up strong when all of a sudden everybody started to get on match point to elevate themselves.
Yeah, and you want to talk about Vegas Inferno, they didn't win a game the whole day. and they qualified
Yeah.
and had the most points of anybody in the lobby. Like crazy again that a team like that's able to pull it off. Especially again, we had I believe when I was putting the start of the guides already that they have 2 players whose only appearance at a LAN is the Open, and one other player that's never been to LAN. So like for a team to be able to put that kind of performance together when they absolutely needed it to make the biggest tournament of the year, it is pretty dang impressive to say the least for those boys. And it's another team coming, another all Thailand team, which I don't know what's going on with Thailand right now, but I mean, they have really put together some really good rosters. It's been insane to see the talent that's been growing out of that region lately. And now they just add another team to the fold here with Vegas Inferno, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Can I just say, because I assume you guys have been on this wave too. I know Donnie has, because he's been a ball knower with teams like VKG. But for a long time, people have been saying that APAC South has been the second best region. And that felt like easy for people to stomach back when, like, obviously DZ won back-to-back. But then when they left, it was like, okay, well, they still have Moist. But then when Moist left, people were still kind of up in the air. But, oh, they have Blackhand. And then it felt like once Strafing Flame kind of, like, fell off, which is funny because now he's back. Strafing Flame's career has been, like, did bad. All of a sudden, he's, like, top 5. He's best in the world. Then all of a sudden, he did bad. But, oh, wait, we're so back, like, with when he was Legends Gaming. And then now, oh, wait, we're bad again. Oh, wait, we're so back at the Open.
Strafing Flame's
oh, wait, we're bad.
career
LCQ.
was like a heartbeat monitor. He'd be a completely healthy male. That like it was just that
he's
there's
fluctuating all the time. If he has a pop-off performance, he's gonna suck the next split, then he comes back and he pops off again.
Anytime that man hears land, I know how to play again, bro. I'm here.
He's back. He's locked
he's
in.
Back.
But like the reason that people have been saying APAC South is the second best region in the world has always been because the depth that region has.
Yeah.
Like I remember back in the day when like everybody's talking about DZ and Moist and all these squads, and you had I can't remember what their team name was, but it's like the current Gen G roster. The first LAN they make it to was Champs, and they ended up getting 10th. They're over there contesting Team Liquid, like off drop because they're landing at Dome and Liquid's landing at Stacks, and they're like clapping them in a finals lobby. Like this region has always been stupid deep, and now you have even more teams like Thailand and China have all of a sudden become these like super small country. Well, China's not a small country, but small like in terms of the support that Apex has for those countries, and yet they're like booming with talent. Like people are just coming left and right out of those, like with Wolves and like Five Fears and all the like. We've got 3 Thailand teams at Champs. That's crazy, you know. And I feel like not a lot of people. I think it's also partially because they don't speak English, but a lot of people have like recognized the talent that's coming out of Australia. But Thailand and China are like pumping out talent too.
Mm-hmm.
That region is crazy in terms of the amount of just demons in terms of mechanics they have over there.
Yeah, and you got obviously Indonesia with Easy Flash and Strafing Flame and Player K. Like it's
Player K is Australian.
Oh, he's Australian. My fault.
Yeah.
But it's just like I mean, it's insane to see because when I was, again, looking up the information, saw it was all Thailand again. I'm like, what in the hell are they doing down in Thailand where they're producing this talent, man? It's so cool to see. And yeah, like we'll have to see, maybe if I can cook up another team that might perform well at LAN. But yeah, seeing, being able to watch APAC South a ton more this split, even though it absolutely pummeled my sleep schedule on the weekends, like, it's been such a fun thing to watch. And I was like, I didn't get to watch the LCQ this weekend, but like just to see the talent that is in this region and be able to see it firsthand, it's just like, man, like people got to be ready for this region. Like there's a ton of teams that can fight. There's a ton of teams that are even getting better with things like their macro and, their micro decisions. And again, we saw it with VK, we saw it with Gen G, we saw it with Wolves. Like they now are showing it consistently on LAN. So like,
yeah.
It's going to be something, man. It really does feel like it's going to be the Americas versus APAC South potentially, and obviously Alliance will have their say. But like, it really does feel like that's where we're going to get our champion from.
I mean, bro, I was gonna say like APAC South, I feel like back in the day was always known for being like really good at fighting. Like all of the teams that were coming out of there, everybody's talking about like the Chinese teams are super aggressive. Everybody's really good at fighting. Like I said, with the old, with Gen G, which I still can't remember what their name was back then. I think they were just TYK. I think they were like the initial Tom Young Kung that made it to LAN, but I could be wrong. But anyway, like those teams are always known for being good at fighting. And now over the years, it's like all of a sudden now the macro is being developed because we're in a time period where fighting is not favored as much as it used to be. They have nerfed Edge with like the Evo cast changes and some of those things. Even like with the Gibby bubble rotates that you can pull off with tridents and stuff. Like, I think it's just way safer with Newcastle, who, you know, can make it through some of the waves of bans. It's just a lot harder to fight often in some of these lobbies. And yet now all of a sudden, APAC South, like we saw at midseason playoffs, you've got teams like VK Gaming who have like crazy macro. You've got Wolves who have crazy macro. Like now all of a sudden we have zone teams coming out of that region. And then the fighting teams like a Gen G also have developed macro over time. Like that's the scary part about APAC South. There's been no doubt that in the fighting, like the firepower that region has, that they can compete with Americas and like alliances and the best of those teams. It's just always been, can their macro back it up? And like that region is kicking ass. Like, do not sleep on APAC South going to champs, because not only do they have the second most teams going into the tournament, they have more than APAC North and EMEA. I really do believe that there's a scenario where you could get like 6 or 7, shout out my TikTok comments, teams in the final. I actually didn't do that on purpose. I was literally just thinking of like how many teams they had in terms of like 9, and surely not all make it, but, or I think they have 10. So you could even
10,
get like, bro, you could get up to like 8 APAC South teams in a finals lobby. That sounds unrealistic on paper. I know it really does, but we have had lands in the past where like 7 teams have made it from APAC South.
Well, I mean, you just look at the teams that they have like coming into this. They've got Wolves, they've got Gen G, they've got VK, who all literally just made top 5 the last lane.
And QQ is coming back for VK.
QQ is coming back.
Like,
and then you got 5 Fears, who's been multiple
SAUL too.
finals. SAUL, that obviously has a ton of experience on those rosters. You got, you know, again, the teams that we're seeing really start to develop with, you know, Vegas Inferno. And then you have a team Mango who literally has one of the best IGLs their region has ever seen. Like,
yeah,
it's very realistic.
Strafing Flames to make a finals lobby. I'm not counting them out. Are you kidding me?
No, it is very realistic.
Algatzia. I mean, like, I know that, you know, people might have given that team a lot of credit for Strafing Flame, but I've been saying it for literal years. You can go on my Twitter. Pricey is the most underrated player in the entire world. That guy's disgusting. Go watch his POV. Mechanically is gross.
And also, like, one of the last teams too, Boogie Borders. I know they qualified on a crazy, you know, regional final. We got a very, very up and coming player in a Metro as a fragger, and then 2 very experienced players with Pana and Raki. Like, you can't tell me those guys can't make a final either, potentially, if everything goes their way. Like,
Raki's he placed like, what was it, 7th with Onyx
with
way
Onyx,
back in the day?
Yeah.
So like he's had huge performances in the past too.
Yeah. So it's things are looking good for APAC South for sure. So I'm very excited, and it's gonna be a good one.
I love bringing up APAC South, and you guys mentioned Strafing Flame. I like to give a call back to my favorite question I ever asked, where I said, hey, Indonesia's probably pretty hot. How do you keep your PC cool? And he said, air conditioning. Dumbest question I've ever asked. You know, I just
also
truthfully one of the biggest lapses in my career.
Indonesia is an island nation, so it's like being on the beach. Like, there's wind, you know, like it's not as hot as you think it is.
Oh,
it
yeah,
feels great out there.
Oh yeah, you're one of my top notch questions that I've ever asked. With some of the dumb questions I've asked and like cut from shows, that should have been one, and I didn't do it for that one. So, you know, it is what it is.
This is why people watch this podcast is for not only the breakdowns, but for the amazing questions by Wyatt.
For the amazing question, I should mention. Bro, you know, I don't think I officially mentioned it when I did cut it from the show, but the question that I asked Waltzy, that in the heart to heart I said was the dumbest question ever. I forgot that he wasn't on Falcons when they got 20th, and I asked him about it, and he was like, I wasn't on that team. I didn't even ask him about it. I just said, like, you know, you've had an up and down year, you know, getting 20th, getting, you know, this and this. And he's like, I didn't get 20th. And I was like, what? And he obviously he was on Moist still at the time. So that was the question I cut.
Like 14th or something. So
yeah, that was the question I cut at that time. So I just felt like throwing that out there with the question where I asked him about how he keeps his PC cool, and he said air conditioning.
Dude, you want to ask people about how they keep their PC cool? Go ask all those freaks in Europe because they don't have air conditioning over in Europe. I don't know how they live that way. It's crazy. Like they have like certain like the little units they put up on the, on stuff like that. So like some of them do, but it's not like normal in Europe to have air conditioning, especially central air conditioning. There's no way. Like they don't have that like we do.
Well,
I could not imagine that.
I could be wrong, but wasn't it like Hawkes within the last like year and a half had like got something added, like a AC unit or something like added into?
Oh yeah, you can do it, but like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like for somebody as successful as he is in Apex, he's only had that for like a year and a half, I think, if I remember correctly.
You have to like make the conscious decision, like I need to get some AC in my house. Where it's like in America, that's like you don't have AC. What's happening? Like where do you live, bro? Like, what?
This has nothing to do with anything. While they aren't on the cutting edge of AC or controlled climate, they are on the cutting edge of swimming pool technology. They have a really good system for filtrating.
It just doesn't make sense to me how Europe doesn't have AC like that. Like what?
I just want to throw that out there. They have swimming pools. They've got it locked.
Can I say, while you're giving credit to Europe on pools, can we give credit to the East when it comes to toilets? And I say this because, I mean, how disgusting are we that we're not, just bidets everywhere? Everywhere you go there, bidets. Europe also has a lot of bidets, so shout out to both of those.
They had a bidet in a Taco Bell. That's how Japan was deep.
Bro, Japan, they got the bidets everywhere, bro. I literally, when I went to my hotel in Japan last year, I sat on that toilet. The toilet seat was heated.
Hold on.
It was the greatest toilet I've ever used.
Not even just that, Jay. In the airport, you know how like in some stalls in the US, there's like a little crack that like people can see, right? Which I hate. I think everybody hates that. Like, why would you want that?
Because then someone like they don't know if there's someone in there. They make eye contact with you, and you're like, oh,
it's awful. Theirs is completely locked down, and it goes all the way to the roof. And when you go inside, you can turn on sounds. So when you're absolutely dropping B-52 bombs in there, nobody knows. Well, they probably know, but there's like nice ocean waves going as you're dropping,
which could be soothing for your bowel movements,
Yes,
it could also help you personally.
Heated toilet seat and the bidet thing. I was weird about at first. First of all, you just feel so much more clean. Like, dude, it's just a weight lifted off your shoulders, man.
Bro. I always use the example of how in the world, when we finish dinner, are we willing to spray our plates with water to wash it? But with our own body, we're going just only toilet paper. Imagine trying to wash your plate after you ate some lasagna with just a paper towel. That's it. And that's what you're going to do to your body? Are you kidding me? No. Spray some water on there and clean it off, bro, man. Get everything gone.
Their toilet is like a pack-a-punch machine. I mean, there's just gizmos and gadgets everywhere.
And
I can't wait for Japan.
I've been to Indonesia, so I've experienced, the highs and lows of toilets because also like you go to like a gas station in Indonesia,
it's a hole.
And it's a squatty potty, and they'll have like a little trough where there's water because what you're supposed to do is you wipe with your hand, and then you wash your hand after you do that. But then you go to Japan, and it's like, it's not just the bidet. I'm not talking like just the one with a nozzle. They have the one that like there's a little control panel on the side. You just click some buttons. The thing will like come out of the toilet and spray. You can adjust the power, the temperature, the angle. You can change everything. And there's a self cleaning button. It can clean itself. You don't even have to clean it. It self cleans.
Yeah. No, it's great.
That's
great.
Peak toilet experience. And for some reason here in the West, we just sit there and use toilet paper. We're just disgusting as a country. I can't believe this.
I was staunch against ever using it. I was staunch. And the only reason I even attempted it, because we were at the Japanese airport for a while. So it's like, might as well. Just out of pure boredom.
When in Rome type thing,
Yeah, I'm glad I did. I mean, it was basically a fucking shower in there. Like the second I closed the door, you can do whatever in there. Like it's
Yeah.
it's insane. Also, they're on the cutting edge in vending machine technology, because if you get a coffee out of a vending machine, it comes out hot. And if you order whatever else, it comes out cold. Like I got a coffee, warm to the touch. Try to get a warm coffee out of a vending machine in the States. It's just not happening. They're just not going to put the money in for that. So, yeah, so that's Apex South.
That's
What
the
a
regional
regional recap.
That's Apex South, ladies and gents. Boys and girls, we're going to set it on down to the heart to heart and send you guys on the rest of your week. Let's get it. All right. Ladies and gents, it is heart to heart time. Heart to heart time. Jumbo's not here, so that means Jay's got to go first.
My heart to heart is not to get too into the weeds of my life, but I'm a Christian and I'm a believer. And I, in the last week, was feeling very down about a lot of things transpiring within this like career I've chosen about Apex. And then like literally 2 days later, I wake up and I'm nominated for an award, and some other good things behind the scenes have happened within the last week that I cannot publicly talk about yet. So it just the Lord's timing is just, it's undefeated, because it literally, I had like talked to one of my close friends and had basically just said like, man, like I'm just super down. Like I feel like a lot of things are not going my way. I feel like I've been putting the hours in, the grind, and a lot of things that I want to happen are just, they're not. And so I was just super down about a lot of that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, ever since I just like voiced that out loud, because it's been something that I've been feeling for about 6 months or so now. And then ever since I voiced all that stuff, it's just like instantly just turned around. And so, yeah, shout out Jesus.
Shout out. That's a good one right there. That's a good one. Don, did you want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, I think mine's just two quick things. I think one for me is mental clarity is quite the thing that am very thankful for recently. I kind of like Jay, there's just been some things that I've doubted with myself for a while, and I think just kind of taking the time to focus on kind of creating goals for yourself and really laying out a plan, and just a lot of different small things you can do for yourself to really focus on just making the most out of each day. It's been an amazing thing. This week has probably been one of the better weeks I've had in quite some time, just with a lot of cool stuff that's happened. And obviously, stuff with streaming is going really well. I mean, just even with like DMR this week, I think I've averaged like 2 viewers most of the weeks I streamed. Literally had an average of like 18 or 19 this past week for legitimately no reason. Didn't post about it, didn't do anything crazy with it, but I just had crazy numbers this week for that, so that was sick. But then obviously like stuff with Apex pods going really well. Tweeting out about the land guides I got started on. Got some nice gas from people like McLovin and Tiff and Panic. All like the post. So definitely tune in for those guides when that comes around January. But I think the other thing on the flip side though is that love might be dead, because Love is Blind.
It is.
It just
You want me to go into my heart to heart? You want
Hold
me to-
on. Do we need a spoiler warning?
Spoiler warning. Yes,
Spoiler
if you
warning
want to
for
watch,
anybody who has not finished Love is Blind season 9,
yeah,
we'll give you
but,
about 5 seconds.
Have y'all been talking about this like every heart to heart for the last
No.
couple weeks or
No,
something?
I was about to just fully go deep.
But
Oh, okay.
I will let Wyatt go because we're basically on the same wavelength here. But I'm just pissed. I watched one season where we saw 3 couples get married. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. Man, I mean, there might be a chance that Love is Blind, and then whatever the heck happened this season,
Yeah, Love has
I don't even
20/20
know.
vision, actually.
It's dead. Love is dead. So
Love is so
Wyatt,
dead.
go ahead. Just
Love
go
is
for it.
so dead. That is my heart to heart this week, is that Love is dead. It is absolutely
Mind you,
chalked. It is
Wyatt
dead.
has a fiance.
Still, it's dead. It's
and
over.
apparently love is dead.
It's dead. Here's
Why
the thing.
lock in, bro?
Here's the thing about
If me or Don were saying that as single men, maybe. But this guy has love, and he's saying it's dead.
it's dead, and here's why. Okay, the season Donnie's talking about, we watched a guy go from the losers bracket and just clutch up a final to like a fun
Inspirational stuff.
He engaged another girl. The girl was awful. Realized that, went back to the other girl, was in losers bracket, worked his way up into winners, made it to finals, and then clutched up finals to get married. Love, right? Like just love. Just like couples just like staring into each other's eyes. Love is Blind season 9 might have been, I don't want to say it was the worst season because it definitely wasn't. It was entertaining. But when it comes to love, there was just some egregious plays made by some people in this season of Love is Blind. It's absolutely sickening. I haven't stopped thinking about it. If you open up my algorithms on any social media, I'm just getting constantly bombarded with takes left and right. And, it sucks too, because me and the boys last night, we all get in the Discord. We're all ready to go. Hey boys, we're watching Love is Blind. We got a nice little crew of guys.
You watch Love is Blind with the homies on Discord and not with your fiance?
Well, we watch it usually ahead of time. And then I go back and watch. I'm a ball knower. I just watch the show.
He'll
constantly.
watch the same episode like 4 times with like 4 different people.
Why is the MVP of the Discord Love is Blind? Because this man will watch the same episode 12 times if that's what it takes.
I won't lie. I sometimes when we're rewatching, I will have Clash of Clans open, and I'll just be doing my thing in there.
That makes sense.
But like, I feel like that's fair.
That's valid.
I feel like that's fair.
You've already seen it. Seen it.
Yeah,
that is what it is.
There for the combo.
Well, and based off of what some of these fucking people did this season, I would want to turn away too. These fucking idiots.
They were just so devoid of love, just so devoid of any sort of happiness. This season, I'm truly questioning if love is truly blind. I for many seasons, I've said yes, it can work. There are just people who have bad intentions, and mind you, a lot of these people had bad intentions. But it was so many of them that I'm starting to think that maybe we're beyond this point. Love can no longer be blind. In fact, love is the least blind thing of all time. That's where I'm at. My heart is broken. And I was 0 for 2 in my predictions. And
well, you also decided to be really just crazy.
Sue me for wanting love.
No, because some of those were so obviously never going to work. They're arguing the whole time, and why it's like, I think they're going to get married.
I didn't think they were okay.
About?
Let's be honest here. I didn't think they were going to get married. I said I'm just hoping that love prevails. It did not.
No, you literally predicted that they would get married. You predicted they would both say yes.
Yeah, because my boy, I wanted to ride with my boy. Kyle goes, I think they both say yes. Fuck it, Kyle. Yeah, me too.
And then what happened? The most obvious. She said no. She said all time.
She said no.
Yeah.
If anybody needs an Apex example, in case you don't really care to watch this show, what happened this season and just the decision making and the throws that happened was E36 jumping on TSM in Germany. That's the type of shit that happened.
You want me to give you an example?
Just absolutely disgraceful decision making.
Let's make an Apex example as well for KB and Edmund, where Wyatt predicted that they would get married. Essentially, KB was like Sweet Dreams, and Edmund was like Slayer. It was so obvious when we get to that altar. Slayer's getting dropped, all right? Yeah. Sweet's dropping him, all right? It was the most obvious thing in the world, and Wyatt said, I think they're going to win land, and they're going to stick together right here. It's like,
no. So this is what happened, because I know you, Jay, you had gotten up.
Watson was tweeting, I wouldn't want to be Slayer right now. Like, it was the most obvious thing in the world.
Jay, so when I first predicted, you had gotten up to go get a snack. I originally said, KB says no, Edmund says yes. And then when you got back, Kyle goes, fuck it, I think they both say yes. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to fucking ride with my boy.
So you completely just abandoned your own intuition?
Because I wanted to believe that love could happen again. I wanted to believe in love. And it shot me in the face.
If they got married,
but you knew that
they would have got divorced so fast.
It would have been instantly over. It would have been instantly over. I really was I was a prisoner of the moment. I just wanted to see everybody happy and smiling and happy and all that. Although it would have ended in absolute despair and just a messy divorce
saw
overall.
Every red flag, and he was like, let me just put the
every single red flag that you could possibly
I want to believe that it's going to work out. No.
Every single possible red flag.
I will say, though, real quick, dap up to Jay, 2-0. Let's go.
Yeah,
2-0,
yeah, they did go 2-0.
Problem is, though, if the other couple... If we predicted prior to what happened, we would have gone 2-3. There's no way anybody would have predicted.
No, nobody would have predicted. It's honestly, it would have been crazy because Yeah.
Crazy.
If you want another Apex example for stupid Sparkle Megan and Jordan, this is, I think, is there any, I think I'd have to create one. It would be basically like you have a duo and you have this third, and this third is just a sweet, innocent third. And the one says, yeah, totally, I would love to have this third. Like, it would be great. I've never had a third before in my life. I've always wanted to be have a third. And then the third gets introduced, and then instantly the duo that you're with says, nah, actually, I don't want to do it anymore.
I have a better example. It's like, you're looking to join a team that has an org. You want to join a team that signs to have financial stability. And you see this kind of, just this, he's the perfect IGL. He really is. He's got everything, but he doesn't have an org. And you know that ahead of time. You know he doesn't have an org. And you decide to team with him for the whole Pro League split anyway. And then right when you get to the regional finals where it's like time to put up or shut up, are we going to qualify for champs? All of a sudden you're like, you don't have an org and this other team does. So I think I'm out of here. I can't do this.
Wanted to be a
and
power
it's like, well,
org.
hold on. You knew he didn't have an org the whole time. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, you had offers from other orgs. Maybe they weren't, as good IGLs, but you had orgs on the table, and you chose him because he's a better IGL. And now all of a sudden, now after the whole split, you're choosing to leave. It was crazy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, this season was like not choosing ring console. If you know, you know.
Literally.
You know.
They literally didn't choose ring console at all. Any of them. Yeah, the other org, its name was Mike. Shut up, Mike. So there it is. That's my heart to heart this week.
Have you ever looked at that guy's Instagram, by the way?
I haven't. I'm going to probably.
It's the corniest thing of all.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to do it out
like
of just
inspirational
anger.
quotes with like videos of him walking down the beach, and it's like, Mike.
That's such a Mike thing to do.
Just shut the hell up, Mike.
Shut up,
Jesus
Mike.
Christ.
Enoch, your heart to heart.
That was something. As someone who has not watched the show at all, I have no idea. I mean, I just got first. I had the VIP seat for that.
This heart to heart might
say,
be longer than the beginning of this.
It might be.
It is.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Enoch
There's
did
nothing
say,
wrong with that.
When Finn was still on the show, Enoch said that if the boys ever were deep in the LIB, that he would try to try out a few episodes to see how he felt about it. I don't even want him to try this season.
Enoch,
I wouldn't want it.
I don't recommend.
Don't do it. Not this season.
It's such a.
I used to watch some like dumpster fire reality TV shows like Love Island or whatever they call it with my mom back in the day.
It's not like that level because some of the people on there are
like that's just straight
actually
up
trying to.
Just sign up for degeneracy without a doubt.
It's not that level. Like, it's a lot more wholesome. There is still some degeneracy, but like some of the people are like actually legitimately there trying to see, can I find a husband or wife without ever like physically seeing them first? But still wouldn't recommend.
There's still some dumpsters.
That's valid.
unless you're into those kind of reality shows, then go for it.
Which I am.
This is a little
and I
higher
hate
up
it.
than those. I would say this is better than those kind of shows.
Gotcha. No, I haven't. The only TV I've watched has been sparingly watching a baking show with the wife.
There you go.
And that is, I'm just doing it to spend time. I could give less of a care about the banking aspect, right? But it's just quality time, All right, but my heart to heart is going to be it's mixing in gratitude, but it's a little bit different than that because it's more about like where like your perspective is and where your frame of mind is so important because like you really just at any given moment you have the choice of like, okay, I have all of the things that Allah has given me in my life and all of these things that I have to be grateful for and all of these things that are like just blessings to me. But then you also have like all of the things that you could be negative about. And like, I spent way too much time the last couple of weeks. And especially, dude, I've been really miserable with Apex for a decent amount, right? And so like the more I would focus on that, like obviously I'm just going to be like walking around all miserable all the time. But then when I was like this last week, I've specifically like mentally from like just trying to like lock in and focus and like regardless of like, oh, annoying death happens. Oh, I get what I would say was like a play doesn't go the way I would ideally have it or just different things going on. Just anything that I could complain about. just instead of like going down those negative thought patterns, just grounding myself in gratitude for all the blessings that I have, life is just way better. The more mentally disciplined I am on not going down negative thought patterns. And so if you're somebody who finds yourself going down negative thought patterns often, just become consciously aware of that and then shift your focus to the things you have to be grateful in your life. And it just, life instantly gets better from that, from literally like doing nothing physically outside of just making that decision in your mind, just instantly makes your quality of life better. And then the more you continue to do that, there's not a shadow of a doubt in my mind that like if you genuinely like lock in mentally, the physical outsides will become better as well. The better you lock in mentally. And so it's just something I've made an observation as of my recent lifetime.
There it is.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful stuff. That brings me hope once again. After I would it might surprise you guys if I say this. I tend to go down negative thought patterns. I'm just going to be honest here. And it just happens
Really?
sometimes.
I thought you just wanted everybody to love each other.
Yeah,
After that.
sometimes when it comes to Denver Bronco football, Colorado Avalanche hockey.
No, you've never been negative about sports teams.
No, never.
Dude, I cannot wait for the day where Wyatt leaves sports in the past.
This is
I can't
gonna
wait
be
for the day-
and he's just done. And he's
I
just
can't
like,
wait for the day that he
it'll be
stops
so good.
tweeting about his sports teams.
I will never stop doing that. If you follow me on
I have
Twitter
to
and you
mute
get mad at
Wyatt,
how much I
like-
tweet, just unfollow me. I'm never going to stop. It's always going to be me.
Or you can just mute him. I mute Wyatt probably 5-6 times a year ever since I've initially
And I take
followed
no
you on Twitter.
offense.
Because sometimes it's like I just don't want to see you reply to every single Rockies game that happens.
Yeah,
Like,
with the eliminated gif. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
on the other side of things where I will go and like the hell out of everything he
Donnie
tweets.
likes every tweet I've ever tweeted, which is
See,
great.
The tough part for me is honestly, it's not even the Rockies ones. It's when your team wins and you're still so negative.
Yeah. Well, the
Like
Broncos
that
are
Titans
frauds.
game. Like the Titans, I get it was week 1 and like they didn't look good and the Titans are supposed to be the worst team in the league, but they won the game and you're like,
We're
worst
still
team in the league.
frauds.
How?
I mean,
You just beat the Titans, so they're worse than you at least. Like
I think we're still a fraudulent football team. So there's that. But I just view Twitter as not a social media site. Like I think a lot of people view it as a social media site. It's like my diary.
You
like
view
I
it
just
as a
throw
journal,
shit up.
yeah.
I just throw shit up there, and it is what it is. So that's what that is. But yeah, sometimes I'll go down negative thought patterns when it comes to those things. I did think about what my life would be without sports. It'd probably be like so much better, but also like it's kind of like the guard opening the cage and being like, all right, you're good to go. I think I would just be so used to being in this cage for so long. I don't think I'd ever leave. I think you leave the door open. I'd be like,
I like it in here.
I kind of like it in here. And that's where I'm at, and that's, that's that. But ladies and gents, that's another episode of the Apex, the podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, it is a pleasure to have you guys back. Also a pleasure to have Monsoon back on the show. He is always a legend, as well as Jay for the first time in a long time. Both those, thank y'all for hopping on. Ladies and gents, we have a lengthy wait before we have anything truly meaningful happening. So we're going to have to fill that time with some bullshit. So bear with us while we do that. We'll be back very, very soon. Might not be the typical breakdown of whatever, but we'll be talking some fun Apex stuff. And we do have a brand new season on the way as well. So keep your eyes on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys soon. See ya.